guided his horses through that test with such confidence and aplomb. But we start here on the marathon with our Grade 1 para drivers. So the order of the day is the Grade 1 class. Well, we've got 17 competitors. Grade 2 we move on to. Then we move to the single horse 4-star competition, and then at about 2 o'clock local time we will be embarking on section B. That's the section B of the marathon for the horse 4s. So that's the timetable today. Remember, everybody has been out on a section A, and for the para drivers it's 5,000 meters or 5 kilometers. The speed for section A is 12 kilometers per hour. The time allowed between 23 and 25 minutes. If you're over 30 minutes, then things aren't necessarily going to go your way to compulsory pairs of flags. Then we come on to section B. That's a little bit longer, 6,120 meters or 6.12 kilometers. Slightly faster speed on 13 kilometers per hour. These are the horse speeds I'm giving you. Don't forget, we have got ponies and horses in the same class. I will clarify for the ponies in just a moment. Minimum time on section B, that's the one with all the obstacles, 25.15 up to 28.15. So you've got 2 minutes. And then for the section A, and then for section B we've got about a 3-minute window. For the ponies, same distances, but just shaving off a kilometre for the speed. So for section A it's 11 kilometres per hour, and for section B it is 12 kilometres per hour, and the time allowed for the ponies in section A is 25. Well, the minimum time, the time allowed is actually 27.16. The minimum time is 25.16, maximum time is 32.44. That's when you go into the red. And there are plenty of compulsory flags out there on the course. We will be bringing you pictures very soon of Gerard Horst. He is the first of our Grade 1 drivers driving the Stapleford Shake a Leg. Great pony bred by the late great John Chicken of the Stapleford Stud in Essex. There he is, of course, the support crew on the ground, and that's a good Hackney trot for you. Look at that expression. This is absolutely what they were made to do, these Hackneys, and the clock has started. We are underway with our marathon here in Leiden. It's going to be a fantastic day. There could be quite a lot of changes in the order. Let's see if we can just bring you some pictures beyond that glorious flag. Thank you to Tommy and the crew behind the scenes for bringing us the pictures. The layout here in Leiden is absolutely extraordinary. For the last 2 days, we've been looking at that beautiful grass arena. Then on the other side of the hedge, there was the sand arena where the trot up took place, and that's where the displays were going on. The party was still going strong when I left here at 10 o'clock last night. And to the left of where you're looking at the moment, that's where everybody's stabled, and these amazing training areas. It's one of the aspects of being here in Leiden that everybody said so wonderful. An event devised by drivers, Christoph Sandman and all his very experienced crew, really with the drivers and their requirements in mind, and of course the horses. Number one, horses and ponies, their well-being. And so lots of open areas, lots of space to hand graze them if you want to exercise. And then the obstacles laid out in very close proximity. It's estimated that there could be between 10 and 15,000 spectators today, conservatively. The road between the obstacles and the showground itself is going to be absolutely mobbed. So that is a 95.56, and Gerard Horst completes his obstacle number 1. The course designer is Jeroen Hoeteman. Of course, we know him so well after many years of technical typical delegating and designing, and he works closely with his nephew Dan, who is such a key player in bringing us the times and the live scores. Now, for our para driving classes, there are alternatives, and obstacle number 1 was absolutely case in point. We have a 1 star here. They don't do all the same obstacles as the 4-in-hands, and again, there will be a change for the horse fours as well. So some of them will be driven by all the classes, singles, paras, and the horse fours. But number 1, there was an alternative, and that's known as 1 star. It goes from A to E to F. We do have an F gate in there. We don't always, and there are 15 knockdowns. Now, according to my screen, we didn't have any knockdowns there for Gerard Horst. He then goes into number 2. So this 1 star, this alternative to the big solid obstacle that the horse fours will be in this afternoon, this one is being driven by our grade 1 and grade 2 para drivers and the horse singles. The next one at number 2 with a water in it, as you can just see, look at the dip, look at the pair of trees pretty much in the middle of your screen, and behind that you've got a dip, and that's where the D gate is. Now that one is being driven by the horse fours and our para drivers. We move to obstacle number 4, so we do skip about between the numbers. It will become clear as we go on, and that's been driven by everybody, all the classes. We then move to a 6 star, so this is an alternative one, 6 for the horse fours. My goodness, it looks like it would last as long as the pyramids. It's so solid. The trees that gave us that wood had been growing for many years. It's quite an incredible obstacle, number 6 for the horse fours. We'll hopefully be able to bring you good pictures of that a bit later. So we have a 6 star alternative. These are where we use some of the mobile obstacles and elements that Jerome has been able to build more recently on site. As Gerard Horst comes into his next obstacle. Then 7 is driven by all the classes, but our para drivers will only do gates A to E. And then number 8, talking of pyramids, that is called the pyramid, and everybody will drive that. It will make perfect sense as the day progresses. So Gerard Horst is now in number 2. We've got the green box on the scoring screen for that one as Amanda Shirtcliffe with Menai Lone Ranger. Ranger, as he's known, owned by Averina Snow, who's a very big part of the British para crew, and that was one half of the ponies along with Capitola Mr. Houdini, who we'll see a bit later, with Deborah Daniel, who helped Tara Wilkinson, who we'll see on the back of Dries de Griek's carriage quite soon, win her pony pair world title in Minden. 2017 that was, and there's some lovely pictures on social media of Tara meeting up with the ponies again. So the team behind the scenes are working hard to bring you some graphics as well on the screens. So we are aware that we would like to be able to share with you who is in what and what they're doing, but we can be pretty certain that's Gerard Horst with Stapleford Shake a Leg, and he's out there, of course, as the first athlete, and combination with the horse and everybody on the course, 105.14. So these are benchmark figures for the first one through. Amanda is in number 1 at the moment. Amanda, who really set out her stall brilliantly for her debut at any sort of driving event at this level. She's driving Ranger. Clocked a brilliant dressage mark of 53.84 for a 10th place. Very impressive for a debut, but she's a very experienced para dressage rider and brought all that poise and style and ringcraft to her dressage test. And I know the British squad were absolutely thrilled, as was she, really jubilant that she has joined the ranks of the driving crew and availed herself amazingly. She was out of number 1 in 75. So she's driving a very, very experienced pony. There'll be a lot of hand-holding going on here with Ranger. And they said in their biogs before they actually arrived here in Leyden, they really wants to make their mark. Well, Amanda, job done. Tick that box. Next out will be Francois Galland for France. And we're delighted to have him here. I understand that this is the first time we've had a French para-athlete, certainly in recent history, so wonderful to have him here driving Lipton de la Rizelle. And he ended up in 13th out of our 17 on a 59.36 from his dressage. So, the roads filling up. Be lovely to have the names up on the screen. I know there's a little bit of communication going on behind the scenes. It just helps us share with our many fans who are watching. We're giving you a lovely view of the hedge and the viewing platform. Now we're coming down. I wonder if our camera is being relocated. Live action here in Leyden. Great picture of the hedge. And as you can see, there's not much wind here at the moment. Let's see if I can share with you what the weather's doing. A little bit of rain. Talk about most things, but it'll be a challenge to talk about a hedge all day. Not sure if you're still able to pick up what I'm saying. Here we are, yes, back with the hedge. Now into number 4. Remember, we're skipping obstacle number 3. There is no 3 for our para drivers. Amanda is into number 2. And Francois has embarked on his Section B obstacles. Take my word for it, there is a lot going on beyond there. We will, I'm sure, get the camera back into position very soon. 3 of our drivers out on the course at the moment, whilst we're just waiting for the camera to catch up. Just to confirm the placings in this class for the Grade 1 para drivers. Tracy Bowman out there in front with Albrecht Hoves Lars, aiming for her third consecutive title. That was a 41.20, and she confessed yesterday, I had a quick catch up with her, that she knew that Jacques Poppen was going to make her and Lars really raise their game. And I'd said, Jolie had said, were you aware what a smooth, beautiful test Jacques had produced with Horses to Fly Anique? And they said, we were, but we were trying not to think about it. Anyway, our defending champion pulled out her A game. She's so experienced. She's such a pro. And so that was Tracy Bowman out in front with Lars. 2 of the 5 judges had that as their leading test. Piers Scott and Elimir Thunart. Jack Poppen with that lovely black horse, 42.56 for a second place. Josine de Boer, and that was a very, very elegant test with her Zodi Min Grenzjewel. Just such a light pony on its feet. It was one of those that glided around, making it look very easy, very supple. Ah, we're back with an obstacle. This is quite reassuring. Thank you, team. We've got an obstacle. Can we just make sure it's one of the obstacles that the para drivers are definitely going through? I think we do have a picture back in the English channel. Don't forget that the crew are actually sending out pictures. We've got the English commentary. We often have a German speaking commentary as well. I mean, if you're regular on Clip My Horse, you'll know that we can have all sorts of languages accompanying the events that are broadcast, but we are, and you can listen without a commentary, although why you would, I'm not going to advocate that. So we have a little bit of an update. Jared Horst is out of number 4 in 99.64. Amanda is out of number 2. Oh, we're back with a hedge, 75.86. And Francois has come out of number 1 in 93.44. So Amanda posting some really wonderful times here, considering that this is her debut. This is a pretty impressive set of times so far for her. So she's had 2 fastest times in numbers 1 and 2. She's currently sitting in 10th place out of the 17 in the class on 53.84. Very little between her and Laura driving for Italy ahead of her. That's a 53.52. The margins between them in all the classes, the horse fours in particular, very, very little. Emma Golding starts. Emma Golding starts for Ireland. She is now here as an individual. Sadly, Mick Ward, who was her teammate, and Douglas have had to withdraw. Emma and Mossy, Maestoso Master as he's known formally, but Emma and Mossy now in number 1. That's great. Now that looks like, I think that's Francois, I'm guessing here, in number 2. That's the one with the water dip. Looks like, there we are, the Coalic one. We've got some action back for you. Thank you, everybody. A little bit of movement with our camera angles. And that's Francois out in 81.99. So Amanda Shirtcliffe still blazing a trail for Great Britain. She is not on the team. She's here as an individual. But at this rate, she'll be earning herself a team place in the future. She's just clocked her fastest time so far, 67.74. Gutsy driving from Amanda. Remember, this isn't her horse or pony. And not only do the para drivers have all sorts of challenges to even be here, the journeys, think of where Jodie's come from in Melbourne, Tracy and Dan from California, Deborah as well coming from America, the distances they've travelled, a lot of them are driving horse or ponies that they only met a week ago, and here they are at a world championship. They are utterly, utterly inspiring. So Emma and Mossy out of number 1 in the fastest time, 69.30. I know she will be delighted with that. She was a bit disappointed with the dressage. Mossy didn't settle. She was using some slightly different reins with a different loop adjustment, and she felt she couldn't release the setting enough during her walk movements, and that's why Mossy just jogged a bit during the walk, and that let her down. She thought she was going to be a little bit more competitive after the dressage, but at the moment Emma Golding setting a new fastest time. She's the 4th out on the course with Mossy. Good for you, Emma. So Amanda's lost her fastest time crown, and Gerard Horst is now in number 6. 6 is another one of the obstacles on the course where there has been an alternative that is going to be used by our para drivers and the single horses. So these are the obstacles constructed of the mobile elements, by and large, that can be moved around. But they're all very technical. 13 knockdowns in number 6. Now, it looks like everyone's driving pretty clean routes. We haven't had just bring you another picture any minute now. So Emma Golding out of number 1 in 69.30. Francois is about to go into number 4, and that's Gerard Horst, 81.43 in his number 6. So 6 is one of our obstacles that does have a star next to it. And we've got 1A gate, but what happens here, it gets a little bit more complicated when our drivers and their crews are initially walking them. We've got 3 different E gates, so lots of different options here. Brilliant. Just trying to bring you some different pictures. It's a little bit stop-start at the moment. So we've got A all the way around the outside. You will know once you've walked it if you're going to come out of A and go round to B on your left rein or your right rein. You can do either. Then C is down at the bottom. This is number 6 next to A. And D is up at the top next to B. We've got 3 E gates, then an F. So that's number 6 at the moment. I'm sure we will manage to just settle into a rhythm where we're bringing you all the obstacles at the moment. I promise you everybody behind the scenes is working as hard as possible to try and follow it. There we have Emma in the green. We know that. Here she is for Ireland. Emma and Mossy. And they are in number 2. So number 49. There she is. And she'll be bringing absolutely everything. Now, Mossy doesn't always like getting his toes wet. You can see him being a little bit reticent there. Bless him. Mossy, we know you don't like water very much. Big, brave boy. Well done, Mossy. And if you don't already know, Mossy only has one eye. He's got a sort of covered over eye socket. You can't see it with those blinkers on him. But he is a superstar on my website that's actually called The Carriage Commentator, as you can imagine. Mossy has his own column, and to me and to us, he is the Jaeger bomb of the horse world. He is such a character. He can be quite cheeky, but that character, our little Lipizzaner in Mossy. Well done, Emma. She got him through the water. Now that, knowing Emma as I do, Dr. Emma Golding, she's a bright lady. She's just finished her PhD, and she works at the Dublin Veterinary School. She is such an inspiration, Emma. She's studying, she's working, she's driving Mossy, and she's got him through the water. Honestly, you can write a PhD, and I'm sure on a day like today, getting Mossy through the water probably feels like more of an achievement. Well done, Emma. So not the fastest time in the water. We wouldn't expect that, because he has to really put his his brave feet on to go through them. 118.21, so that's a fourth place time, but they've got what will have been their bogey obstacle out of the way. Gerard seems to have had a ball knock in number 6, so we've got a penalty of 2 to add on to that, and he's through number 7, 72.13. Amanda is currently in number 6. Laura, I think we've got sight of her. She's just come out of number 1, 112.67 with a knockdown as well. So that is a little bit expensive. There are many rules around how you earn your penalties on a marathon, but the total time in the obstacles each second is 0.25. So do the maths. So it's 4 seconds per point. As I often say, our minds work differently when it comes to numbers and arithmetic. So it's 0.25 penalties. That's how it's stated in the FEI rulebook, Article 969, if you want to get academic about it. So this is why the knockdowns are very expensive. It's the equivalent of 8 seconds. That's actually how the drivers look at it. It's like they're in the obstacle for another 8 seconds. And so although it only seems like just 2 points, when you look at it like that, it is a bit more expensive. We saw, if you were watching the coverage from the horse pairs 2 weeks ago in Beekbergen, the knockdowns did, and the penalties that were on occasions awarded afterwards, perhaps for some errors of course or flouting some of the rules, they ended up being a bit of a game changer after the marathon. Emma is now in number 4. Number 4 is the Premio. Needless to say, being here at the home of the Sandmans, there is quite an emphasis on lorries, transport, machinery. It's absolutely the beating heart of what happens around here. Whilst we smooth out some of the picture issues, I think what we're doing, we seem to be jumping around a little bit between being able to give you the graphics. So where possible, I will stick with telling you who is where. And this is Laura Paglici Riatelli, and she's driving Blackjack. Now, we're going to guess that Blackjack, who's now grey, was probably black when he was born, but isn't he smart? Look at that lovely crest he's got on him. She is in number 2. Emma Golding is out of number 4. Amanda is still clocking up some fastest times. Emma hasn't managed to replicate her fastest time after number 1. Amanda absolutely still trailblazing out there. Gerard Horst is in number 8. So to clarify, although there's quite a lot of, well, wood out there, there's lots of obstacles. We've got 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 and 8. And of those, we've got some alternatives at 1 and 6 to the obstacles that the 4-in-hands are going to drive. Eyes on Laura here. Number 57. Big number fibs on the back. Certainly helping the commentator. Oh, and there you can just see the obstacle times as well. So Amanda's still the fastest through there by some way. Gosh, Amanda, keep it up. Francois has just beaten her in number 6. He was out of there in 61.60. Amanda's time, no longer the fastest. That was a 66.31. Jared Horst will just about have finished his marathon. We'll just wait for that blue box to change. Okay, Tommy has made the decision that we're not going to have graphics today. So your commentator will do her very, very best to keep you absolutely. Every time we try and introduce the graphics, bearing in mind we are in a greenfield site here and we've got lots of cables going around, so I think that's just going to be a little bit much for us, but I will do my level best to keep you all informed as to who is where and when at what time. So this is going to be, it's going to be a fascinating day. We're looking at number 2. Maybe by lunchtime we might be able to do it, but who knows. On we go. Amanda is in number 7. In the meantime, Jared Horst is coming to the end of his marathon. We have a score of 137.46, and that gives him a total of 198.42. And if you are a friend or fan of Jared Horst, do screenshot that at the moment, because he is in first place. That's one of the perks of going first, isn't it? That you lead from the front. Lovely scenes here. You can just see on the horizon there the loops between the obstacles. Let's see if we can clarify. So just to remind you, they've done their section A, they've had a bit of rest in between, they've got their compulsory flags, they mustn't miss them either. So behind you, from where the camera is now, is the big grass arena. It's all hedged in beautifully.
And Tracy Spencer wird gleich starten.
And that sounds like Tracy Spencer will be going out soon. The next of the British drivers. We've actually got 1, 2, 3 British drivers in a row. Tracy, then Emily, then Louise. We're interrupted by Henriette from Denmark, and then we're back with Deborah Daniel. So there will be a lot of cheering and clapping from the British crew very soon. Laura is, that was number 2 in 98.29. Amanda Shercliffe retains her fastest time through there as Laura goes into number 4. So we're showing you here number 4. We do become more familiar with them as time goes on. There we are. Good pictures there of Blackjack and Laura, and we're just having a bit of a zoom out. Going to find somebody else for you.
Tracy Spencer,
and it looks like we might be on Tracy Spencer. Here she is with Leo, the lovely Leo, who has been a very big character. Tracy is the first to admit that there were occasions in their journey together when he's been for sale. He was started off in his early training days by one of the very best in the business in Great Britain, and that's a gentleman called Nigel Fuller. Nigel won't necessarily be watching this. He's much more of a exhibiting showman and producer, but somebody somewhere will tell him that he's been getting a plug. He's started off so many really top competition ponies because he gave them a brilliant nursery level foundation. And helps show them the way with such a lovely guiding hand. And look at Leo here at a World Championship with Tracy Spencer. She said this is the fulfillment of her many dreams. She too was a dressage rider before she took up driving, and this could be a pretty good time. Might not be the fastest, but she's out. And Leo looks full of running. There we go. She's out in the third fastest time so far. 80.59. Emma is clear of number 6 in
Tracy Spencer mit einer guten Zeit,
66.81.
das Nummer 1.
Francois is really heating up through his marathon. He's clearly gaining a bit of confidence as he goes through. He's got a fastest time in number 6 and now the fastest time in number 1, 52.81. Won't be long before Amanda enters number 8, and that's it. The box has turned green. So Amanda Shirtcliffe, congratulations to you. For quite a number of our drivers, it's their debut, but she's definitely set her stall out as a force to be reckoned with in our grade 1 class. So not too many knockdowns so far, and beautiful shots there. There you go. You get a sense of the layout. And there's some cones for you. That'll be tomorrow's fun and games. And eyes on Amanda. That's lovely to be able to share that one with you. Thank you. Number 59, and you could just get a real sense now of the proximity of the layout of the obstacles, but you also get a sense there of how solid they are. There we are, Amanda. And Ranger, he's driven many an obstacle in his time, but Amanda hasn't. What a combination they've made. So that is a time of 65.35, and she puts herself by some distance ahead after the marathon. 1:01.65 is her total, and a 1:55.49. So Amanda, on a temporary basis, goes into the lead at the moment, but Francois is chasing her. His dressage was 59.36, but he's still got some fastest times. You got a sense that he's really gained some momentum. Back to number 2, eyes on Tracy Spencer. So those of you watching on the British Isles will know of Tracy. She competes a lot in the British Isles and always smiling, loves her driving. Tracy and Leo.
Tracy Spencer, Hindernisnummer 2, Quali-Unternehmensgruppe. Tracy Spencer, Großbritannien, Great Britain, at obstacle number 2 now, and at obstacle number 7, FVG Hindernis 7.
She's got Sally Buller on the back there with her. And how's Leo in the water? Oh, he had a bit of a look, but he's all right. It's like a great big sheep dip, isn't it? Come on, Leo. Tracy's willing you on. It's all about just keeping the rhythm, keeping forward. The more changes of direction that you have, more feeds into your time. This is Tracy Spencer in number 2 at the moment, and she's out of there in 93.67. It just goes to show what a cracking time Amanda put down earlier on. That was a 75.86 for her. Francois is now in number 8. I think we might be panning back round. There's number 1. We're stopping at number 1 for Emily Ham. Now this is a member of the British team, so this is the first of the British team to come forward with Beechwood Bracken. That's it. No, I think he's all right. Just a little trip there by the looks of things for Alfie. Now, she's a very committed and brave obstacle driver, is Emily. Alfie has been behaving like a slightly cheeky spring chicken. He's 24. He must be by some way the oldest equine here competing. That looks like the trainer, Robert Buck, following her. And Emily, as we would expect, has posted a fastest time, 63.97. she's so committed to driving, Emily. She was on, oh, we've got, yes, there was obviously a knockdown there. I just wonder if that's where Alfie tripped a bit. So that puts her back with that additional 2. So that means Emma Golding, I can let you into a secret, they both write for my website. So I've split allegiances between Emma and Emily. And their lovely ponies that have been featured on the Carriage Commentator. 2 extremely capable and intelligent ladies, and they write beautifully, multi-talented. So Emma Golding has retained her fastest time with Mossy through number 1, because Emily, who looked like she had a fastest, well, she did have a fastest time, but unfortunately has got the 2 to add to that. So that puts her on sort of the second fastest collective. Amanda's finished. Now, Francois has now finished his marathon. He didn't topple Amanda's fastest time in number 8, 71.79. So he finishes on a marathon total of 109.56 for second out of the 3 that have completed, and that puts him on 168.92. So Amanda Shirtcliffe for Great Britain still in front at the moment. Laura out of number 6 in 93.69. Are we still with Tracy? Who are we on at the moment? Yeah, we're with Tracy. It's a glorious day out here. And obviously in, well, for Northern Europe, we are in early autumn, so you get this lovely sort of dewy chill in the air first thing.
Tracy Spencer.
Tracy and Leo.
Tracy Spencer.
Here they are. She's got a pom-pom on top of her hat there. And Emily Ham is in number 2. Tracy here is in number 4. Quite a lot for the British team, because they're about to have Louise Blanche starting as well. So 3 out on the course, and then Debs will be out at the same time. So there's a lot going on for the Brits. Amanda is home safe and well, trailblazing for them all. As Tracy threads her way through the course, you can get eyes on the F gate there. Just one F gate, but this was the obstacle, and we had 3 different E options. And we had a bit of a disagreement deciding which E we're going through. Yes, it looks like it. That's it. As long as you got the right E, it has to be in sequence. Tracy won't necessarily want a repeat of what happened in Exlou, because a very entertaining water obstacle, Jodie McKeown with the Bowman horse, we'll never forget that one. Tracy actually went through a gate the wrong way and the wrong sequence, and so she sadly was eliminated 2 years ago, so she will be absolutely determined that that doesn't happen again. So it looks like she took an extra loop. I think she overshot the E gate there. That'll eat into time as Louise Blanche is about to enter number 1, so the 3rd of the Brits out on the course at the moment. Laura is in number 7. Tracy is out of that one in 75.81, so that's the 3rd fastest time. There was probably added, oh gosh, probably up to about 10 seconds, that extra loop, but Amanda's still the fastest through there. Tracy Spencer, her marathon total is 123.40 for a 3rd place and 186.68, which puts her at 3rd place overall. Amanda Shirtcliffe still in front. As we look at Louise Blanche and her super little pony, he does compete in the small equine classes, Mitchell Coombe Cheetah, and like many of the small ponies in our world, they really have no idea of their scale. They have pretty big attitudes. Who's she got on with her? She's going to have Sally Kerr with her on, and Sally will be guiding around. Very, very experienced driver herself. She's got a good support team here Claire, Sally, Chloe, and Caitlin. As little cheetah is absolutely on the world stage here. Isn't this wonderful? This is what we bring you in driving. The range of size, types, breeds, traditions. Each and every one of them brings so much to our driving world. Little cheetah with Louise Blanche in number 1. Emily Ham is out of number 2 in a second fastest time of 76.12, little bit slower than Amanda. Amanda, my goodness. Wonder what she and Ranger had for breakfast. I think everybody would like that. Won't be long before Laura for Italy is in number 8. Emma Golding has now finished her marathon. As well. Sorry, I think I was reading out Emma's scores instead of Tracy's. There we go. Emma Golding. There we go. Emma Golding. That's it. Get the eyes right. 123.40, so 186.68. That's Emma Golding, not Tracy. They're quite near each other on the... Yeah, so Tracy will be in number 6 next. Emily Ham and Louise is out of there with Cheetah in 90.95. That's definitely Emily. That's definitely Emily. With Alfie, number 51.
Und wenn ihr das noch macht, ASB Projektsteuer, die Pyramide für unsere Fahrer aus Italien.
Beechwood Bracken, as he's known, and this will be his swan song, certainly on the international stage. They took part in the European Championship 2 years ago.
And
a little bit of sat-nav there in the middle for Emily. Oh, she looks like she's got a bit disorientated. Want to make sure they don't go through the wrong gate. Emily driving for the British team.
Tracy Spencer.
And she's got Esther Rawlinson on there. Esther's been helping her all year. That's it, she's made the gate. She's picked up the pace again. Well done, Emily. That's it. It's a bit of hesitation in the middle there. And she exits number 4.
Tracy Spencer,
yeah, so Emily Ham, 76.35 there. That's the second fastest. Still Amanda in front. Tracy, 67.21. Whoop, yes, Cheetah's just having a little bit of a look at the water. You can't actually see the water, but take it from me. There's something in there. And Henriette de Crostiche, she is in number 1. So we've got our sole representative from Denmark here. So number 2 is the obstacle we're looking at the moment, and this is Louise Blanche for Great Britain, driving as an individual, Mitchell Coombe Cheetah, and we can bring you a final, there you go, 1:08.69. Lovely shot there, thank you, crew. So Amanda still the fastest, Emily the second fastest. Now, that's a treat to have a couple of Union Jacks on there for our fastest times. Henriette with little Cato, our lovely little Knapstrooper, the Danish breed, his little stallion. Pretty good time. It was 64.85, but that's a 2 that she's added to the penalties, which puts her on the 3rd overall score out of there. Emma Golding still the fastest out of there with her Mossy. Laura has now finished her marathon, 139.74. That's for Italy, with Blackjack for a 5th place in the marathon so far, but an overall total of 193.26 for a 4th place just now. Still Amanda Shirtcliffe in front on both the marathon and the running total after the 2 phases. It will be the turn in number 1 next for Deborah Daniel and Capitola Mr. Houdini. It's quite a momentous World Championship for Deb. Her 7th, she's won many medals over the years, and she's received the Gold Award from the FEI for her input. Right, Tracy is about to come into number 7. Clock ticking for her. Emily will be in 6 next, and Louise and the little grey in number 4, Henriette in number 2. So only one obstacle live at the moment, and that's Tracy. Just move my screen up just to make sure I get the right people in the right place. If you've just joined us, we are endeavouring to bring you some graphics on the screens as well, but we just had a few issues with the technical side, so we will be at the moment trying to rely on the commentator getting it right. Only human, putting my hands up to that one. Now, Cheetah, trot on. Cato here for Henriette. We've got 2 little greys out on the course, Cheetah and Cato. She has been named, actually they both have in Denmark as top equines and drivers. Does look like a little character, wonderful. She is number 2, and how's he? Yeah, oh, pretty willing. Through they go, the dip, and up they come. Henriette does bring so much passion, and she's encouraging him every step of the way, but he's kind of got his own vibe here, and he's doing it his way, at his pace. But what a great combo they make. Look at the loops there. You remember I did speak about the compensating aids that the para-drivers were able to use, whether it's a looped belt, or sometimes the grooms are able to hold the whips, or there's a bar or a strap between the reins, or a trough or an extra strap to hold the feet in place. That's all fine. And whether they have nominated themselves to use them or not, as long as they've done that now, it looks like Debs has put in a very good time in number 1. We're back with Louise and Cheetah. So we go from one dinky grey to another. 2 dissimilar in their sizes, actually. Cheetah and Cato. So
Voor de
Debs
winners
has
nummer
recorded a
4
new
geht's
fastest
weiter.
time in
Louis Brown, Cheetah is nummer
number
4.
1 with her beloved
Yeah,
H. Now
Great Britain
Capitola
at 4.
Mr. Houdini, you might remember me
And
saying,
Deborah
was the
Daniel,
other
very quick
half
and
of the
fast
pair
at obstacle
with
number 1.
Menai
The
Lone
new top
Ranger
marker,
that's just given Amanda a
64.52
great drive
seconds.
round.
Best size.
Actually can
In
see
dan
her
is nummer
scores
1
changed slightly for Amanda, and this is why
Mannschaftsfahrerin
sometimes the
Deborah
commentator goes a little
Daniel.
bit cross-eyed. We've got now a red box round
Obstacle
number
number 6.
4.
Obstacle number 6 is
Obviously,
a
there was a
Sänger
knockdown
obstacle.
that's been a late addition, but it still means Amanda has
Emily
the
Ham.
fastest overall score through number 4. I say score or time, but she's still in front, but that's nipped away a little bit of her advantage. 103.65 is still the leading score for Amanda. 103.65 is the one to beat, and 167.49 is her overall total after phases A and B. But Debs is out blazing at her trail at her last World Championship. Emily is in number 6 now with Alfie, and Louise was out of number 4 in 89.65. Henriette, that we've just seen, in number 2, 101.15. A sea of times and figures and all sorts happening. Moment to take stock. You can just can you spot on the horizon? That will be Deb coming out. We can see some more. There's the greys. They do these loops generally about a kilometre. It has to be a minimum, I think, of 800 metres, these loops between the obstacles. And coming in with great intent, our most experienced driver on the British team. And we time travelled a bit there, didn't we, in the feed? 1 minute she was in the field, the next minute she was in the obstacle. We bring you a little bit of Star Trek or Doctor Who. I'd love to be able to time travel. If there was any superpower that you could be given, it's one of those chats you have. Would you like to fly? Would you like to be invisible? Time travel, definitely. Oh, no question. I think he would have walked over or galloped over a bed of nails there. What a cracking pony this chap is. Roger Campbell drove him as well in the past. Roger, who won, I saw him very briefly last night here, won that double silver in Beekbergen. Emma Burge, of course, put this pair of ponies on the map, Ranger and H. And now look at them both still going strong in their 20s. Yeah, Deb Daniel, fantastic drive from her. She was 6th after the dressage. I know perhaps because she's the ultimate competitor and very, very hard on herself. 48.96 was her dressage score for a 6th place. But not so far behind. Tracy Bowman's leading score is 41.20. So if she keeps this up, she's very competitive. That's 2 fastest times for Deb Daniel and Capitola Mr. Houdini. Henriette, we are back with her in number 4 for Denmark. He's just got his pace here, Cato, and he's sticking to it, but it's... And actually that's fine. It's getting everything in sequence. That's what matters. And you've got small ponies like this going through some of the same gates and challenges that the big horse fours will be this afternoon. It's the genius of the course builder, Jeroen Houteman. Looks like one of our organisers on the phone there. Never stops. Emily Ham has posted a fastest time in number 7. Well done, Emily. She is always very good on the marathon, so she's got third and third place in 1 and 2, second and second in 4 and 6, and then a fastest time so far. Very good time, actually. Knocks Amanda off her perch. And then who was fastest through there? Francois as well. 48.14 for number 7. Louise is in number 6, but Deb Daniel out on the course will be coming into 4 next. But Henriette was out of there with the little grey in 89.73. That was a 7th fastest time. Short legs don't necessarily eat up the ground quite in the same way as the longer legs do, but you could see the impulsion and power that Deb and H are bringing to their obstacles. But they have been driving together for many years, and they are a pretty confident unit together. Such an experienced pony at international level, still looking as fit and strong as ever. There's a lot of strength in him. It's this breed, the Section C. The stamina they've got, and he's fit, he's well conditioned. And so far so good for Deb Daniel. Oh, look at that trot. Brave driving here. Totally committed. I expect she's got Averina on the back with her as well. They have worked together for so long, and it's Averina that owns H and Ranger. And she's competed as well enormously successfully with them at pony pair national and international level. And here, her generosity has really been a game changer. Oh, come on, Debs, come on. No. Oh! Well recovered. 3 or 4 seconds that will have cost her, but good pony found his stride straight away. Look at that, whenever he can, forward into canter. What an old pro this pony is, stunning. And despite a little bit of a whoopsie there, technical term that is, 68.60. So we've got 3 fastest times to date for Deb's. Job done. But she's got some pretty fast people coming up behind her and might not necessarily retain all those fastest time slots. So just to confirm, Tracy Spencer has actually finished her marathon. I think I got a bit ahead of myself earlier. Tracy has finished on 117.25 for a 3rd place so far on the marathon with her Leo, and 174.85 for a 3rd place. So at the moment, Francois 2nd on the marathon and 2nd overall. Amanda Shirtcliffe has enjoyed sitting in double 1st position for some time, but that is probably going to change if Debs keeps this up. And another lady that will be challenging hard, hugely experienced. She's been with our para-driving nearly from the get-go. Diane Castamer, driving Freedom this time. Henriette has gone into 6. But the clock is ticking for Diane Castamer. Diane really is a bit of a legend from Arroyo Grande, California. She has been a gold medalist in the past. In 2006, individual bronze and team medals, team bronze in Sandringham. A lifelong equestrian she is. She's got Anne Loyal on the carriage with her, and a long list of results for her. This is one of the horses who's been loaned out by Koos de Ronde, Koos and Marie de Ronde, a 15-year-old Dutch warm blood. She drove Tibby last time, who actually her teammate Deborah is driving this time. But Diane is out in 96.16. That's the 10th fastest time so far. We perhaps might catch her on one of the loops. It looks like that's her just beyond the trees. And she did have a ball to add there, so we'll just nudge her a little bit down the order. So we are well underway with the marathon here in Leiden. This is the grade 1 class, following straight on pretty much. We're going to roll from one class into the next. Grade 2s will come, then our horse singles, and then at about 2 o'clock local time we will be underway with the obstacles for the 4 in hands. All 41 of them. Have we got anyone live at the moment? Emily is out of number 8 in a pretty respectable time. Will it be the fastest? Not quite. It might well be the second fastest, 67.92. Just wait for that to complete. Emily, who was sitting in 11th after the dressage, 56.48. Alfie pretty strong. He did get a bit strong in the dressage for her. Diane is about to come into number 2. The light goes orange and then it goes green. There's probably about a 3 or 4 second delay from just the streaming of the pictures, sorting out the route. Diane Castamer here with Freedom in number 2, grade 1 para class in the World Championship. We talk about whether this is the 14th or the 7th edition of it. Technically speaking, it came under the FEI driving umbrella at about the halfway point from where we started to where we find ourselves now. It was part of the International Para Equestrian set up. So if you go back through the records, when there was the very first championship, World Championship in Wolfsburg in 1998, not so far from here, where we are in Leiden, there were 7 nations that took part, and it was IPEC then that was overseeing it. And that happened for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6 of them. And then from Breda onwards in 2010, 15 years ago, it came under the FEI driving. So whether you say, I like to say it's the 14th overall, because actually we had a lot of the same athletes. Heiner Lertner, he was there right at the beginning. When did Diane come in? Won her first medal back in 2002 in Greven and Bockholt. And she's out in 95.29. 95.29. We'll come to Heiner before too long. We did have a little bit of a change in the order from our hand in hand. Some of the pairings, it was actually a roving situation, shall we say, a roving and evolving situation. So the pairings that I read out to you yesterday actually changed. And Jodie McKeown is out on the course. That's Jodie out on the course now. She's just gone through number 1 in 69.20. That's the 6th fastest time so far. Debs has been fastest in number 4. We saw that, and she's just gone fastest in number 6, 58.90. So a towering performance so far from Deb Daniel and H. Are they going to beat Emily's fastest time? She absolutely powered through number 7. That was 48.14 for the fastest time through there at the moment. Jodie for Australia driving Zeus, the Hungarian horse that she's been driving for the last couple of weeks. Again, quite extraordinary. The journey she's had to get here, logistically and I say emotionally. She's had a lot going on. To add, the team seems to have been a knockdown for Jodie in there as well. She had a pretty good dressage, 49.26. It was actually very elegant and poised. That was a 7th place for her. So who's leading? Back to the hand in hand. We've got Patricia Grosser-Richter and Anna Marika Meyer. They are out in front at the moment. That's the pairing. Heine Lerter and Christoph Sandman are in 2nd place. All the Germans here, and Alexander Sievers and Anna Sandman in 3rd place. So that is where we are in the hand-in-hand competition as well, where we've joined a para driver with one of the 4-in-hand drivers, Tracy Bowman and Bram Sheldon, currently the holders of that. They were paired off initially, and then they weren't. And Tracy is now with Daniel Schneiders from Austria. They are sitting in 6th place at the moment. And where's Bram? Bram is with Hans Arends, and they are sitting in 5th. Back to the live action. So Jodie is in number 2, I believe. Picture just flicking in and out a bit. Diane is in number 4. Debs is in number 7. Henriette has still got one more to go. Louise Blanche has finished her marathon. Right, let's stick with where we are. That looks like we're with Jodie. Jodie for Australia. Yes, I think we can safely say pin the Australian flag to this one. She's, oh my goodness, Jodie. She's nuts. You see that turn there? She's such a brave lady. Watch and watch again. That water obstacle from Exloo 2 years ago. The horse flew through the air. And she confessed not long ago that horse evidently was not part of the Bowman team anymore. He was a little bit smaller, but evidently didn't like water. So what she did down the reins in Exloo. Come on, Jodie. Oh, look at that. She is so... Oh, hope she was aiming for... Yeah. Oh, my goodness, Jodie. You're aging me. You're aging me. Yeah, 70.70. What a drive. Heine Lerter. We are in living legend zone now. He's been at every single World Para Championship for us in driving. Extraordinary. He was on a silver medal winning team back in 1998 and has this incredible record of medaling with the team at every single championship. A remarkable record, and he had a lovely dressage the other day, 46.32 for a 4th place in a very competitive dressage phase in the Grade 1 class. That's Jodie on her loop with Freedom, and there's it. As soon as Jodie disappear from the screens, then we are back with Heine Lerter and Maestro's Nero. Jodie's ticked 2 people that are going to be on the back. She's either got Siske or Bernadette on the back there. I'm not going to commit to which one it is. Can't see from the screen. Heine has got Makey Hatman on the back with him. 83.14. So Deb's fastest time of 64.52. Looking pretty solid at the moment, but we've got Patricia coming in next. Yoshine Deborah, Tracy Bowman and Jacques Poppin. So some formidable combinations still to embark on their marathon here in Leiden in our Grade 1 World Championship class. As we just take stock, Debs is out of number 7, so she's got 5 fastest times so far. So Deb's out of number 7 in 47.48. It looks like we will have a new marathon and overall leader pretty soon with Debs if number 8 goes well. In the meantime, we are back with Jodie, and both she and the groom acknowledging the timekeepers and our officials. Part of the army of volunteers that they are ready, and the clock is ticking as she comes round. Well, it's about to tick. Oh, this has got quite a long stride, this horse. Yeah, the clock's now ticking for Jodie McKeown for Australia, and she's driving Zeus, this Hungarian horse. It's a Lipizan across a Hungarian sports horse, and she said she's so enjoyed the training with it. It's been really fast to learn. It looks pretty sharp, very forward and willing. Zsolt Dimka, I think, is the gentleman who has kindly loaned it to her from memory. She's been staying in Hungary, but not that far from the Romanian border for the last 2 weeks, getting to know this horse, training every day with Zsolt. How's the time? Heine's in number 2. Diane's in number 6. Debs will be in number 8 soon. And Jodie, as you can see, the commitment from her and Zeus. So she flew to Hungary, had a couple of weeks there. Then she had to get herself up to Holland, where a lot of her kit was, carriage and all the harness and everything, and then came across to Leiden. So that's the second fastest time. Debs and H still in front. That was a 71.58. So Deb, just waiting for her to come into number 8. We are back with Heine. Of course, he is paired with none other than our host here, Christoph Sandman, in the hand in hand, and that's a pretty formidable pairing, both of them. I would think a pairing that's probably got more medals collectively than just about anyone else. Lovely scenes in Leiden. Patricia Grosser-Richter is out there with Gentleman, her Deutsche Sports horse, and Heine is out. It looks like 98.22. Just remember, a lot of these scores are provisional. I read them out as they come onto the screen. Odd times we do get a red box and a 2 round them when it's been clocked afterwards that perhaps a ball has been knocked off. So effectively adding 8 seconds to the total. Remember, it's 0.25 per second spent in the obstacle. So 4 seconds per point, if that is an easier way of understanding it. And that's how we arrive at our penalty score. You might remember from the dressage, we don't work on top scores and percentages like they do in ridden dressage, it is, we have to sort of have this reductive approach to adding the 5 scores from the judges together, or 3 or 1 or however many you have, dividing it by 5, then multiplying it by a coefficient of 0.666. That is how we arrive at the total. Now, I don't know if it's at all possible to scan round to number 8, please, but that would give us Debs Daniels at the end of her marathon. I know we were able to scan round the camera, but on the way to completing her marathon, and no, I think we're too late now. She's finished in, my goodness, I don't think any feet have touched the ground. It's like she's gone through in jet-propelled speed of sound or light. I mean, this is a remarkable time from Deb in 56.73. 56.73 by a very long way. Our fastest time. So that's a full set of fastest times for Deborah Daniel and the British team. 91.11. That is the new winning total. 91.11 for Deborah Daniel on the marathon. That is a new leading total of 140.07. So she knocks Emily was sitting in first place. Now she goes into second, and Amanda is in third place. So pretty good for the Brits. Emily Ham was temporarily in front. 100.59, total of 157.02 for Emily. But it is indeed Deborah Daniel who now takes the lead. We are with Heine Lerter in number 4. Heine in number 4 for the German team. Well, German squad, should I say. He's not on the team this time, the German squad. So Patricia is out in 76.76 from number 1, but there was a knockdown to add to that. She's currently in 5th with Gentleman. Heine completing his number 4. Remember, we don't have a number 3 obstacle, so we're just going to stick with the obstacle numbers, otherwise it gets a bit confusing. Jodie will soon be a number 6, so we do not have a 3 and a 5 for the Para Driving Championship. Heine out in 73.20. That's he's found a little bit more against the clock there. That's a third fastest time, but it looks like Debs is going to be very, very hard to beat. Josine de Boer is about to come into number 1. Patricia is now in number 2. That's what we're bringing you here. She always drives such an elegant dressage test. Jodie is in number 6. And number 6 is actually quite far to the left. I don't think that with the camera position we've got, we will be able to bring you number 6 today. There we have Patricia, yeah, just looking, but very willing. That splash.
Und Heiner Lerter auch schnell im Hindernis Nummer 4, 73,21 Sekunden, super Zeit für Heiner Lerter, Deutschland. Einzelfahrer für Deutschland.
Josine now in number 1. Just 2 more to start. Tracy Bowman and Jack Poppin are current leader and second place. Combo. Deb still, as you can see there, Jodie in second place, but Deb by some way out in front. incredibly gutsy marathon from her. And I know, I'm absolutely certain there'll be emotion and tears with Debs and the team, rightly so. It is her last World Championship marathon. She said that before she came out here, but what a blaze of glory. She completes her international marathon career on an astonishing set of times for her.
Und das niederländische Team führt nach der Dressur mit 87,52 Punkten an. Auch Tracy Spencer hat dazu beigetragen, dass das niederländische Team
So Patricia, don't forget, is paired up with Anna-Marie Kamaya for the hand-in-hand. So I wonder if that is going to alter their first place. We will have to wait till a bit later this afternoon. Yoshine Debord out of number 1 in 59.32. I think you can just catch sight of her there. I would think that's Patricia on her loops. Jodie out of number 6 in 62.83. As I say, 6 is quite far to the left. It'll be behind another hedge. I don't think we'll be able to bring you 6. Might be able to pan round. Look at all those lovely flags, beautifully spaced out down the hedge line. It's number 2, 1, then 2. They're lined up along this road. Number 4 is a little bit to the right. We did have eyes on it, was for a little bit once we were just sorting out what we were going to be filming. That was I think it was the number 7 that we will have. It wasn't number 7, it was probably the 6 it was. 4 in hands, but I'll concentrate on where we are, because actually Tracy Bowman will be starting quite soon. Jodie is in that number 7,
Deborah Daniel,
which is further to
the marathon. She's in the lead on the marathon so far.
the right,
Daniel from Great Britain, also for the British
as we
team.
come to, of course, some Dutch colours here for the Dutch team.
For her in the marathon.
They're sitting in front in the team event for our Para Championship at the moment, with Yoshine and Jack and Hans Arends, but Yoshine and Jack's scores were the one that's counted. Of course, 2 out of the 3 are carried over if you have a team of 3. If there's just 2 of you, which we have for some of our teams this weekend, then you do not have the luxury of a drop score. So this is number 46, just to clarify. Hey, hey, hey. Encouraging them through. And I can confirm we do have a new fastest time. Yoshine Debord is very competitive out there. She was fastest through number 1. That was 59.32. We've got her here live through number 2. That's it. So Deb's still in front. That was a fantastic time. She and H clocked up there. And yeah, Debs retains her crown at the moment in number 2, but this looks like it's going to be really competitive. Yoshine Debord was out of that number 2 in 70.24, Deb at 67.92. You got quite a good glimpse there of the live timing screen next to each obstacle. We move to Patricia here and her lovely gentle man. Patricia in number 4. Heine has come out of number 6 in 64.19, and Jodie has come out of number 7 in 69.04. Diane Castamer for the United States has finished her marathon now. She goes into 8th place on 127.08, and that's a 6th overall place for 179.80. Of course, that will have a bit of a bearing on the American team effort. keep you up to date when I can with what's happening with the teams. Yeah, teams after marathon. Let's see if I can bring you a live update for that. At the moment, Debs has put the British ahead. So at the moment, we don't have anything yet. Jane McGarvey is the third member for the British team, but with Emily and Deb home for the British team at the moment, they are in front. But we've got Patricia, Yvonne Hellenbrand and Alexandra Sievers. That's the German team. They will be good. And for the Netherlands, we've got Josine de Boer doing a great job out there. Jack Popham will start any minute now, and Hans Arendt. So the Brits with that phenomenal, masterful round from Deb Daniel put themselves in front at the moment. So Tracy Bowman, can we bring you some of Tracy? Because this is our current leader and our world champion. She is in. There she is, Tracy and Lars. I know some of your American fans and friends have set their alarms very, very early, or maybe in California they're staying up late. Now, this is the time that we didn't necessarily want the wind to get up. Flags, please, at ease. We do not want the flags flying, if at all possible. Thank you. You see, they do listen to the commentator. I'm glad somebody does. Down flags. We want to see Tracy. We want to glimpse our defending champion. Such a talented, committed lady. She trains, she leaves no stone unturned. It's beautiful. Lars, who she hopes to be competing with in the next World Championship for the horse singles. Who knows? Now that was a fastest time, second fastest time, I beg your pardon, second fastest time. Not by much, that was a 60.75, so Deb slips to third on that one. Josine de Boer was fastest through in 59.32. We've got quite a competition between our ladies here. Deb's by some way the winner of the marathon so far. Jodie has, I think, I'm going to guess that it was a corrected error, of course. She's clocked up an extra 20. That will be very disappointing for the Australian. She had won the marathon last time in Exlou and came out bronze overall. But it looks like there's 20 on hers. Remember, this is all provisional. And I'm going to guess that it was possibly a corrected error, of course, in the obstacle. That's what often clocks up a 20. Jodie's in number 8 at the moment for Australia. Josine de Boer, yeah, she's means business today. She's got a fastest time in number 4. Deb's fastest times. She's held out in number 2, but we've got Tracy out there. Josine de Boer has gone fastest in number 4 on 59.85, and Jacques Poppen, another gentleman with a long list of medals to his name, is about to start. This is the final para driver about to go onto the course. The total to beat to become the marathon winner is 91.11 from Deborah Daniel. And Jodie is out on number 8 in 94.01. It's not going to be a winning marathon for her this time. It's 133.50 for a 10th, and we're looking at Jacques in number 1 at the moment. Jodie's on 182.70. That's the 7th place for her at the moment. Heine in number 7. Patricia in number 6. Josine de Boer has just completed her number 4. Tracy is in number 2. And Jacques Poppen is in number 1. That's it. We've got first and second positioned athletes at the moment in 1 and 2. Quite a lot going on out there at the moment, as Tracy Bowman with Lars and Jolie on the back there with her. Out they come. Oh, not quite yet. Oops. Having a look. There he is, having a bit of a look.
also
He's
Germany.
all right. He's
Also
all
zwei
right.
deutsche Fahrer unterwegs. Und Patricia Großrichter mit einer guten Zeit mit 62,02 Sekunden. Viertbeste Zeit in 6 für Patricia, fehlerfrei. Und Heiner 67,56, fünftbeste Zeit in
Tracy
7, auch
and
fehlerfrei.
Lars in number
Und
2.
Bestzeit.
And the news is Jack Poppen has just posted a new fastest time in number 1. We do have quite a competition live in Leiden, and that's a 4th fastest time. Deb is proving really hard to beat in that number 2, but Jack Poppen, he's just gone fastest in number 1, 55.43. Yeah, that was a very speedy time through there. Any more news to bring you? Jodie, yeah, looks like she had a knockdown in number 8 as well. Heiner still to go in number 8. Patricia is out of number 6 at the moment. It looks like 62.02. Yoshine de Boer, she's lost her fastest time in number 1. Tracy out of number 2 in 75.20, a 4th fastest time, but you saw that on the screen. So 6.12 kilometers in total. They've got flags 1 and 2 to get to obstacle number 1. Then at flag number 3, it is the kilometer marker, and they've got 3, 4 and 5 flags to go through. These compulsory flags, they must go through them to get to number 2, through number 6, and then that's the 2 kilometer marker, 7 and 8 to get to number 4, at which point it becomes the 3 kilometers, and then they've got flags 9. Then we've got a bit of a jump because of the different routes, so 16, 17 and 18. So actually it goes all the way up to 27. It's been quite a lot for our course designers and technical delegates and everybody to think about. And I've just had a message to say that the Brits are extremely emotional and proud. Thank you, Callum, for that. I do love this live feedback from the team. They are delighted with what they've achieved so far. So good luck to the Brits. No commentator bias, I do promise. You only see it when the British are driving in the Cladrubers. Every other occasion, I'm completely in a state of equilibrium. But you can forgive a tiny little bit of British bias, possibly on an English-speaking commentary. Czech bias. I do actually have a Czech brother-in-law. My younger sister is married to Tomáš Kincl, who is Czech, and he keeps me right on the pronunciations whenever possible. Thomas. Jack Poppen now in number 2. Patricia is in number 7. Yoshine de Boer has clocked another fastest time. It looks like we may well have a new leader after the marathon, but Debs, I know, will be sitting pretty in what is her first place at the moment. And we have Tracy in number 4, our Californian world champion at the moment. Trains, of course, with Bram Chardon. Who better to guide? But she's also a trainer herself in ridden eventing. So what experience and wisdom she brings to this. Lars is 16 now.
Hellenbrand ist auch gestartet.
Also out on the course. Jack Poppen is in number 2 at the moment. He's not going to have the fastest time now. He's out of that at 68.27. We're with Tracy at the moment. Tracy Bowman and Lars in number 4. This is the third of the obstacles for our paradrivers. Remember, we're skipping past number 3. 3 will make an appearance later on today. We'll get to know it as well. We've got to know 1, 2, 4. We haven't really had a chance to get to know number 6, and we've had a brief flirtation with number 8. Tracy's out. She'll be analysing it as she goes round. Looks like that was 62.18. That's a second fastest time behind Yoshine de Bohr, who is powering round her marathon. You can see that number 3. That is going to be one of the tough ones, up and down, later on in the day. And every single driver who's going on this, their grooms, their crews, this is a very, very, very technical, tough marathon. They feel it is a suitable championship course. And they really do think that the marathon is going to be quite divisive in where medals are awarded, where teams win, where records are made or broken. So Deb's still got a few fastest times, and it looks like Heine has finished his marathon, a 5th marathon for him. He was out of number 8 in 66.50. That was the 3rd fastest time for Heine Lerter. Pretty sure I've got that right. Yes, 3rd fastest time, 66.50, 113.21 and 159.53. Puts him into 4th place overall. Debs is still in front, but I think that lead is under threat at the moment. Patricia is out of number 7 in 58.98, a 5th fastest time for her. She's got one more to go. And lovely views from the top of that mound, the Sandman Transport Mound, standing proudly there. What a great event this family is giving us, and Christoph Sandman. It was very, very cool yesterday what he did in the dressage. It was a bit of a surprise. It really was, as Yvonne Hellenbrand starts out in the grade 2s. So we are now underway with the grade 2 class. So that lovely position for the first one out, where they have all those ones next to the name, Jacques Poppin. He is 2nd fastest in number 2, will be in number 4 before too long. There he is, that beautiful horse that glided round, and we are moving to Yvonne with her Faflinger. We have now got a mix between the grade 1s and the grade 2s out on the course. And referring to the British carriage driving eligibility, with the driver with disabilities fall into 2 categories. Number 1 is the para driver classified, number 2 is non-classified driver with disabilities. So there is quite a detailed grading system. Obviously, we've got the para dressage championship going on in Ermelo in the Netherlands at the moment. Ah, there's Christina. There's Christina. She's made it out from the office. I don't know what we do without Christina and Cindy keeping us all right on the admin side. They're fabulous. She's also a judge, actually, Christina. She ran the office in Vilsvarsrad last year. And she and Cindy, who really are the A-team, they've worked together for years, keeping everybody right. They have to deal with queries from not just the event and the drivers. They've been dealing with broken down quad bikes, burst tyres, all sorts of things. That's what happens here, all of life. But yeah, so we've got 5 classifications in our ridden para dressage competitions, but 2 here in driving. And you can see that we've gone back to Deb's being not on the screen, and that's because we are now in our grade 2 class. So Yvonne out of there 92.36, but back to what's happening in our grade 1 class. We've got Jacques Poppin, who's having a real nip and tuck so far with Tracy Bowman. There wasn't very much between them in their dressage. Tracy was the leader on 41.20, but 1.36, barely a few seconds between them. 42.56, that's where Jacques is. He is, yeah, he's just clocked a fastest time. I think we might see a bit of a change at the top here. very, very competitive through that number 4, 55.92. Tracy was through there in 62.18. Jacques has posted some phenomenal times in his 3 obstacles, 2 fastest, 1 second. Tracy is now in number 6. She's in number 6. What's going to happen to Jacques Poppin? He's looking like he may well be back in serious contention. He's won quite a number of prizes over the years. Look, going back, where did he first appear? He was grade 1 silver back in 2006 in Hellendoorn. Of course, Heine appears in all these. Championships, but yeah, Jacques Poppin. Nearly 20 years ago he was winning, or certainly being on the podium, but he's pretty fearsome. Now Tracy's just picked up the pace a little bit. Tracy is obviously sensing her lead is a little bit fragile at the moment, so 56.91, 56.91 for Tracy. Deb's still our leader in the marathon, still our leader. Patricia has finished, so just to confirm, Patricia Grossrichter has finished her marathon in 108.71. That's a 4th place, but that puts her into 2nd place overall. So that's a new 2nd overall place. 156.23 for Patricia. Deb's still in front. I know the Brits will be absolutely bursting, but I don't think that will necessarily hold. Yoshine de Boer, crown slipped a little bit for her in number 7. That was a 4th fastest time, 55.15. But it really is all to play for in the closing stages of this grade 1 class. Yeah, a white knuckle ride. Nail biting. Tracy hasn't had a fastest time yet. We're looking at the moment at Yvonne Hellenbrand. She was sitting in 6th. She is driving for the German team. She's got May back here. You might remember Anderson that she joked before. What a charming name for a horse. And she's on the team for the Germans. With Patricia, who's out on the course, and of course the current grade 2 leader and another defending champion, Alexandra Sievers. And if you're wondering, it is the same Alexandra with Equistar Lucy. She was Alexandra Roda, and it looks like she's obviously had a marriage in between our championships, which is delightful. Yoshine de Boer is about to go into number 8. This will be very interesting for the current leadership status after the marathon, and overall this could be the one that actually knocks Deb off top spot. Let's see what happens for Yoshine de Boer. Tracy has got 7 and 8 to go. Jacques Poppin will be soon into number 6. He's got 2 fastest times so far. Little bit of a slowdown in the pace for Yvonne as she takes a breather. That's absolutely fine because she's out. Any pace at this point in the proceedings. She wasn't walking in the marathon obstacle. She was walking once she was back on course. That's fine. 81.31 as for the United States, Deborah Marcucci. That's what I'm sticking with in the pronunciation. Does look like a lovely sort of, dare say, Italian origins of the name. I hope I'm not stretching that connection too thinly as I'm going to pop back to our grade 1 class. Yoshine de Boer in number 8. Now it looks like, yes, indeed, she's knocked Deb off the top spot. So that was a 57.25. She was really consistently very fast through those obstacles, through the 6 obstacles. So we have a new leader in the grade 1 class. That's Yoshine de Boer, which of course is good news for the Dutch team effort as well. 88.63 is the new winning score for the marathon, 133.59. So she goes comfortably in front. Don't forget, this can all change after the analysis of what happens with perhaps knockdowns or any errors of course or anything. So
Und wieder mit Bestzeit. Jack Popper
this won't all be signed off till a little bit later in the day by Piers Scar and all the officials. This is just a live and at times provisional situation, but I think Jack Poppin is going to, if he carries on with this, put himself in front. He's got 3 out of 4 fastest times. He's just gone fastest in number 6:52.22. 11:30, also local time. We watched for America, Deborah just coming through number 1 there, 87.69. New to the American team, we had Bob Giles for many, many years, as you know, was competing well alongside Diane for many years. And he was great, what an inspirational guy he was. I thoroughly enjoyed meeting him 2 years ago in Exlu. Next out for the Brits is Jane McGarvey. She's on the British team with Pandora's Diplomat. And a bit of an update on the screen. Just Tracy Bowman to go into number 8. She was 5th fastest in number 7 on 55.94. Debs does actually retain some of those fastest times. She still has 3 out of the 6 as the fastest, but I think Jack Poppin might nick those 7 and 8 times from her. He's storming round, absolutely storming round. I'm predicting that he will be our new leader after this. But don't forget, it can all change in the cones tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see what course Jeroen has got for them. Got for them all. Jack Poppin out there. Horses to fly, Anique. Don't have anyone in an obstacle at the moment. Deborah is coming down any minute, any second. The clock will start. Well, it has started, and it's about to start on your screens. There you go. You can just see, lovely shot there as they come round, pick up the pace. Driving Tibby. Tibby looked like he was having a very fun time in the dressage, didn't he? He didn't really concentrate. He was a little bit distracted, but he's such a versatile chap. Another Durand horse. Yvonne is about to go into number 6. They are driving the same selection of obstacles out in the field in Leiden. And you can see the going is pretty much perfect. A little bit downtrodden where the routes have been covered repeatedly, but we're not in any sort of mud or dust. Can you remember the dust from Bigberg? And it made viewing a little bit challenging at times, but this one, it does look like the going is holding up incredibly well. Jane McCarvey will be out soon, and as expected, Jack has posted a new fastest time in number 7. Absolutely got his Superman outfit on today, flying around Jack Poppin. Quite a bit faster than Tracy through that. She was through number 7 in 55.94. Jack was through that in 43.65. So he's challenging, really challenging for a para crown in the grade 1, and Deborah is out in 101.24. Live pictures here in Leiden. So we're split between the tail end of our grade 1 class, and we are now well underway with the grade 2s. Jane McGarvey driving the British Chef de Keep's own horse, that's or pony Pandora's Diplomat. He's called Matt. The feeling was that he was a little bit, he just wasn't quite on his A game for the dressage.
for the British
A little
team.
bit of tension in that test
The
for
British
Jane,
team
but
after
again,
the
this is
start
another
of
lady who
fourth place,
is driving a borrowed horse.
105.44.
Looks like
Points is
Deborah's
scored.
clocked up
Julie
a
can
couple of
here.
knockdowns,
Chef Vicky
and
for
so
the British
Jane
team.
will, with
Jane
some ease,
Garvey,
go ahead as the fastest time on
grade
61.61. There we go.
one
That's Jane
knockdown,
McGarvey,
61.61.
fastest time in obstacle number 1, even though she's had a knockdown. Yeah, that's gone with the red block around it, but she's eased through there. So the news is, although, oh, love this, we currently have joint leaders. Goshin and Tracy, with their collective scores after marathon and dressage, are both on 133.59. You couldn't make it up. Ladies, that is quite remarkable. With all the many footfalls and the seconds and the routes taken, with their combined scores, I mean, this is provisional. We might have a few changes, but Yoshin de Boer with that great marathon round for her. She was third, but she and Tracy are absolutely neck and neck at the moment. 133.59, so we've got joint overall leaders. It was a third place marathon for Tracy Bowman, 92.39. So Deb at the moment is second placed on the marathon. I suspect it will be a third place overall for the Brit, which is great. She'll love that. She'll be on the podium a bit later. But it looks like if Jacques keeps this up, he will be our marathon winner and new overall winner. So it means we'll have the ladies in joint second. How that is divided now, this will be a case of going back to the rules that when you have a joint score, it could be that the person who gets the best dressage score is the one in front. I'm not going to commit to how that will play out in real time because I want to concentrate on what's happening on the marathon. As Jack Poppen goes into number 8, in number 4 at the moment we're following Deborah for America, driving TB. She's making her debut here for the USA. Torsten Roeder, one of our very early drivers on Thursday morning. He's coming out soon with Golden Dreamcatcher. But at the moment we are watching Deborah for the American team. Jack Poppen is also in number 8, so I'll keep you abreast with what's happening. Yvonne Hellenbrand for the German team is in number 7. So plenty going on out there in the obstacles. There we go, just the turn there. Peeking out from the front of that Sandman cab.
Sehen wir dann, wer die drittbeste Zeit, na klar, 58,08, super Zeit.
All sorts of supporters then. We've got an American t-shirt, we've got some Dutch t-shirts. Who are they going to be supporting? Ingmar Veneman and of course Hans Oren. Jane McGarvey is in number 2 now for the British team. Deborah, I can confirm, has left that obstacle in 95.31. Yvonne was the fastest in this class on 81.31. And yeah, by some way, although he didn't necessarily have the fastest time in that last obstacle, we do have a new leader in both the marathon and the overall total, and that is Jack Poppen for the Netherlands, 83.39 for his marathon total and 125.95 for dressage and marathon. That was Jane McGarvey leaving number 2 for Great Britain, 72.53 fastest time. So she's clocked 2 fastest times. Torsten Roeder is in number 1. Just jump to the teams to confirm if we have any changes. And yes, indeed,
Deborah
Yoshine
Daniel,
and
Great
Jacques
Britain on
Poppen
the
have
first place.
put the Netherlands
We
in
have,
front
on the score
by
here, let me see.
some
On the fourth place we have Tracy
distance.
Bowman,
It looks like the
USA,
British have
and
gone
on the fifth place,
into
fünfter Platz, Emily Ham, Great
second
Britain,
place,
the
but
fifth
we've
place.
just lost the
In the
Germans off
marathon.
the
And
screen.
in the
We'll have to get them
combined
back on there.
interleagues, Jack
I'm
Poppen, grade
not
one,
necessarily going to
second
commit to that because I
place
don't have a
with
German team
133.59.
on my
Second place
screen.
we have Juicy Deborah
Refresh that
and
with any
Tracy
confidence.
Bowman. They are both on the second place.
Yeah,
in the
Germany
combined
seems to have
after
disappeared off the
2000
team
marathon.
event.
They have both
That's not actually what's happening. It's
133.59
just in
points on the score.
in scoring land.
And the fourth
So
place
just
in
to
the combined
confirm,
so far,
our new
Deborah
leader
Daniel,
in the Grade 1 class, they
Great
have
Britain,
finished their
and
marathon.
on the
That's
fifth
Jacques
place
Poppen.
after dressage and marathon in
He
the
won the
combined,
marathon
we
on
have Patricia Großrichter from
83.39,
Germany,
and in second place on the marathon, Yoshine de Boer, 88.63, and that's the second place, and Deb Daniel on her 91.11, so she's third overall in the marathon. That puts her into fourth place at the moment. So we've got Jacques Poppen in first place, that joint second with Yoshine de Boer and Tracy Bowman, and a fourth place for Deb Daniel in the Grade 1 class. So that's where we stand. Now we can turn our full attention to the Grade 2 class. Torsten Roeder was out of number 1 in 75.66. Jay McCarvey so far having a pretty good marathon with Pandora's Diplomat. Ingmar Veneman with Siglavi Lenada will be out next.
We serve coffee and breakfast, ladies and gentlemen, dear spectators.
After
We serve coffee
Jenny
and breakfast
Longley.
at
So
the
we've got
event hall.
2, 3, 4 individuals coming next. Jenny Longley making her debut with Cocoa Pops
Thorsten Röder, deutscher
and Ingmar, then Franz Joseph. Franz Joseph Welch's actually did a jolly good test the other day. He ended up in third place on 49.20. Yvonne Hellenbrand, she's out of number 7 in 64.68, and she's still got number 8 to go. And this looks like Jane. I think that's probably Robert Buck following on the main team trainer. We've also got Sarah Howe helping behind the scenes with the training for the British team, and she is just a great bundle of energy, Sarah. She's so positive. My children have been taught by her before, and each lesson, each training session, she makes it like she's never done it before. She brings such enthusiasm. The advice she gave my eldest a few years ago, who actually turns 18 today, happy birthday, Gabriella Dance. Sarah said, please do listen to your mother. She does know what she's talking about, because daughters don't tend to listen to their mothers, do they? And in fact, this lady here, talking of mothers, was taught by my mother back in the day. This is Jane McGarvey from Inverurie in Aberdeenshire, where my family are based in Scotland. Jane McGarvey in number 4. Torsten is currently in number 2, and Yvonne Hellenbrand for the German team in this Grade 2 class. She is in number 8, and of course she will have the lovely moment of being a leader before too long when she's out. But Jane's challenging here. It looks like she set another fastest time in this class, 71.50. She's having a very successful marathon so far. But don't forget, for the Dutch, we've got Hans Arends, another experienced gentleman. He's driving Candy, and then current leader Alexandra Sievers. And Dutch individually, he's in second place at the moment, Advan Markwick with Heike Forrest Colt. So that's the rear view of as you can see, Torsten Roeder, second fastest time, 82.48. It's lovely to show you the official timing there. Jane McGarvey. The Brits absolutely flying that Union Jack very proudly today. Callum, their publicity lead, has been sending messages through to the commentary area saying, yes, it is a day with lots of pride.
Deborah Marconcini hier unterwegs im Hindernis Nummer 6. Obstacle number 6, Deborah Marconcini, USA, United States of America. Thorsten Röger, unser deutscher Fahrer, unser Einzelfahrer Hindernis Nummer 2, absolviert hier 82,48 Sekunden.
Where are we? Jenny Longley has finished number 1. She's picked up 2 additional penalties there, 78.03 with little Cocoa Pops. Just remember it's proportionately slightly harder work for the likes of Cocoa Pops, but that's all right. He's out, and that is Jenny's first international obstacle ticked off. She's making her debut here as well at Leiden. And what an event to come to. I mean, this is absolutely one of our hallmark events in international driving. It was a venue that put its flag in the driving ground, so to speak, 20 years ago. The first event held 25 years ago in 2000, and started after Sandmans and some of the team were at Aachen, and they thought, we can do that. Aachen's sort of southwest from here, right on that border between Belgium and Holland as well. And they were so inspired, they said, we can do that here, and they have. And just the layout, it's like they started with a blank sheet, and they got the layout absolutely right here in Leiden. It's just a beautifully thought out showground. They've got lots of other ridden competitions here as well. Jenny is in number 2 now with Cocoa Pops. Oh, look at that face. He's having a great day. What enthusiasm, that just makes you smile. When you see a little pony coming into a pretty daunting wooden obstacle like this. I mean, this is a world-class obstacle. And Cocoa Pops just said, yeah, I'm up for it. Come on, where do you want me to go? What a lovely attitude. If you start with a horse or pony or a set of horses or ponies with attitudes like that, it's just brilliant, because if they're taking your rein and they're naturally going forward and enthusiastic, and he was, yep, I'm here, I'm going. What a bundle of joy he is.
At obstacle number 7.
And Jenny, great job from you, Jenny, at your first World Championship. Bringing smiles to our faces. I think Cocoa Pops is going to have a bit of a fan club after this. I'm willing to set it up. How super. And that's a good time, 84.32. Well done. He's not the biggest of the ponies out there. I think that's probably Sarah following round, because Robert's out with Jane. So I know Jenny has worked with Sarah as a coach. So I'm sure that's Sarah Howe supporting there. So the Brits, I know, thrilled with how their marathons are going so far. Jenny admitted to being a little bit nervous, excited and humbled to be representing Great Britain. And she's enjoyed lots of success indoor driving in Kent and Sussex and ventured into outdoor driving this season. So amazing. She just started her outdoor driving career and here she is. And competing on the world stage out of number 1, 72.73. Jane McCarvey is still powering round with Pandora's Diplomat. She's the fastest through number 6. So I think the team talk before the marathon for the Brits seems to have been very, very effective. They are having a super marathon for the British team. So back to Jenny, because that was such an inspirational round from Pops, as he's known. As breeding is unknown. We don't mind that. Pops, he's famously the holder of a donkey passport. I'm going to repeat that. That pony you've just seen going around there, he has a donkey passport. Oh, goodness knows how that's happened. And they've been together for many years. Jenny also trains with a former world champion who's one of our best trainers in the UK. That's Anna Grayson. I know she travels abroad to train as well. Sally Buller. And there was Sarah Howe supporting her too. So great team behind Jenny. Love that. Excited, humbled and nervous, and driving Pops, who on paper has a donkey passport. You couldn't make it up. Right, back to the serious business. The very serious business of the marathon. Jane McGarvey looks like she's picked up a 2 penalty at number 6, but she is still the fastest by some way. Deborah Marcucci, Chili, I'm going to put it as a ch because it's got the 2 C's together. There we go, with Tibby. She is still going on the course. She's got number 8 to go, and we're back with Jenny and Coco Pops. Definitely a fan club forming for this combo. We're in our grade 2 class. Ingmar Veneman also in an obstacle number 2 at the moment, but eyes on Coco Pops. We are in Leiden, Lower Saxony. It's the Emsland district, and we're at home of the Sandman family. Eyes on one of the British squad competing for the first time. She's only just started driving outdoors this year. You could write a book about each and every one of our para drivers and the point at which they find themselves at a world championship. Incredible journeys for all of them. It's Piers Scar, our chief judge here, our number 1 judge. She was absolutely beaming after the para class as well. She said everybody was smiling, the drivers were smiling. She said some of them were even laughing as they were going around. They were having so much fun. And they just infect us all with their positivity. And Jenny's out there in 89.37. That's the 4th fastest time. Jane McGarvey, this will be important for the British team and whether we are going to have a good position in the marathon section of this. She's in number 7, the clock's ticking, and Deborah for the United States is in number 8. And we watch Coco Pops disappear. We're going to turn the cameras back to Franz Joseph Melchers. He's with Leonardo. He's going to peek out from behind big excavators. He's in there somewhere, or is it the tree? There he is. There he is. That's Franz Josef Melcher's driving Leonardo 835. They had a great dressage to finish in third place of 49.20. Clock ticking for them. We saw them briefly. Imagines this is a bit of a roadworks, and they're back again. Many of our drivers could well be using the same vehicles, all the same, all the way through. They're perfectly permitted to, as long as the wheels are of the right, correct width. And some will have to. Emily, I know for the British team, she's got her dressage phaeton, I'm going to call it, but it is quite permissible to use the same carriage all the way through. Everybody's certainly in the singles sitting in that central point right behind the horse's sort of dock and spine. I talked about it quite a lot in Beekbergen, certainly for the pairs, and we see this with the four in hands as well, whether the driver sits in the middle on the pole position or whether they sit to the right hand side as you're looking at your pair, and that does have quite a bearing on the adjustments of your reins. The little lesson that I tend to give on coupling reins and how that gets adjusted depending on your seated position. Now, Torsten Roeder has just recorded a fastest time in number 6 of 67.10. Jane McGarvey has posted another fastest time of 50.40 in number 7. And we are with Ingemar Veneman for the Netherlands as an individual. This is Siglavi Linarda, Dutch harness horse. The grey, it is very elegant. We had a dressage test of 51.20 for a 5th placing. Franz Josef Melcher has just gone fastest in number 1. Oh, we've got a new challenger. New challenger for some fastest times here out on the course. Exciting.
Ingemar Veneman aus den Niederlanden, jetzt im Hindernis Nummer 4.
We are nearly midday local time. We started our marathon. The first driver was out on the course. That was Gerard Horst with the little Hackney Stapleford shaker leg. He was the very first out on the course from 9 o'clock. Don't forget they've got that half hour or so in the section A, sometimes called the warm-up section. And it is about preparing the horse for this bit, which is section B, which is where we bring you the live pictures in Leiden. And we are looking at the Dutch driver. She was actually an ambassador for the event in Exlu 2 years ago as we move through our European Championship Series. Franz Josef, I'm sure we'll scan back to him in just a minute. He's in number 2, and that is a time of 72.96. That's 72.96. But she's had a knock. There's a 2 to add after that. 2 to add. I think Jane McGarvey out there on the course for the Brits certainly will be pulling herself up from the 9th. She wasn't best pleased with her dressage, but she's done a grand job so far. As we look at number 2 obstacle, number 67 is the driver, Franz Josef, and he's looking very competitive. Now this is absolutely the build and type of a single driving horse or pony. You can see the power through the frame, and that's what brings you this extra gear through the obstacles. He's able to twist and turn without losing any momentum, and that's pretty good. But Jane takes the lead still on that one. 78.01, that's the 3rd fastest time. Jane McGarvey comfortably in front still on 72.53 through that obstacle. And we are back with the Netherlands and Advan Markwick. Sometimes he has the van in the middle, sometimes he doesn't. With Highcombe Forest Colt. This was think it was the Dutch New Forest, whose mother was called Coco Chanel, if I remember from my extensive notes. But I'm not going to get involved in all the biographies today because concentrating on the times and the live situation. Won't be long before we start on the horse singles, and we are in obstacle number 8 for Jane McGarvey, and if she comes out here in the same style that she has done so far, she will go in front. In the marathon, Jenny Longley is out of number 6 in 69.66 with Coco Pops. Torsten Roeder is still the fastest time through there, and he is out of number 7 in 61.57. And Van Markwijk has just posted a new fastest time in number 1. Oh, it was the fastest time, but it's not going to be the best overall score because he's added 2 to that. 2. He's added 2 TWO, 2 TO, the score. So Franz Joseph Melcher still in front. Jane McGarvey is out of the final obstacle. Oh, right, where's she out? Okay, it's just jumping around a bit, but Jane McGarvey now is out of there in 65.41, so she is our new leader on the marathon. 65.41. She's had quite a few 4 fastest times at the moment, but that is being challenged by who's out on the course just now. So the winning total on the marathon at the moment is 99.65. That gives Jane a total of 164.13. That puts her in front of Yvonne Hellenbrand, and that's a good achievement. So she's really come up the leaderboard. She won't necessarily stay there, but at the moment, that's good news for the Brits. They've had a good grade 1 class, and they've had a very good grade 2 so far. But Franz Joseph out in number 4 at the moment is blazing a trail as well.
In dem Wettbewerb der Parafahrer Grade 2 und danach geht es dann noch geschwind weiter mit den Einspänner-Pferden, meine Damen und Herren, international 4-Sterne-Wettbewerb, das CAO, also das Hofe Official, also Nationenpreis hier in Läden eingebettet in die Europameisterschaft der Vierer-Zugfahrer bei den großen Pferden und eingebettet in die WM der Parafahrer, auch dieser Nationenpreis der Einspännerpferde. Auch da wird es spannend für das deutsche Team, auch da geht es hier um Medaillen. Das deutsche Team unter der Leitung von Rainer Ruhlheide. Er ist Chef d'Equipe für die Einspänner, wie auch für die Vierspänner an diesem Wochenende in Läden. Und Rainer Ruhlheide mit Cheftrainer Dieter Lauterbach und Charlie Geiger für die einzelnen Gespanne.
We are in Leyden. I do hope you are enjoying the coverage at the moment. We are still in with the grade 2s. We finished the grade 1 class, and that's a pat on the shoulder for Franz Joseph Melchers for Germany. Driving as an individual, he's just gone fastest through number 4. You've just seen that exit, 66.92. Jane McGarvey has just gone in front on the marathon. And at the moment, Roda Torsten is in number 8. Jenny Longley has just finished number 7 in 66.09. Ingmar Venman has just gone fastest in number 6 on 63.59. And we are back with the Netherlands and Van Markwijk in number 2. So that's where we are in number 2 at the moment. He's driving Heike Forest Colt. And he exits in, that is third fastest time, 75.91. Currently sitting in second place on 48.88. So a third fastest total through number 2 as a round that will be important for the Dutch team effort. Hans Arends with Candy are currently negotiating number 1, 4th place at the moment. soon to come out onto the course is the final driver in this Grade 2 class in our Para-Driving World Championship. It will be the current leader, Alexandra Sievers, with Equistar Lucy. But at the moment, yep, we've just picked up the picture of Hans in number, that's it, just coming out of number 1. And that's a new fastest time. Fast changing situation, 61.89, 61.89 is the new fastest time for the Dutchman as he comes out, and Jane at the moment is still in top. On top, Torsten has gone into second place with the Golden Dreamcatcher. He finishes his marathon, that's 73.59 through the final obstacles. So the marathon total for Torsten Roda is 110.08. And that's a second place behind Jane McGarvey, and a total for third place overall, 166.72. So Jane McGarvey at the moment is just in front of Yvonne Hellenbrand after marathon and cones, but the Brit sitting on top at the moment. Ingmar Veneman in number 7. I don't think we're able to bring you pictures of that. We've got a fastest time through number 4 for Franz Josef. We did bring you that one, and we caught the end of Hans Arenz in number 2. Number 1, sorry, it's coming into number 2.
Individual driver for the Dutch team.
So just to recap where we are after the Grade 1 class, we have had a change in the leadership. We've got Jacques Poppin, who won the marathon on 83.39, and he had been sitting in second after the dressage, but he has gone on top of the overall leaderboard on 125.95. So we have a new overall leader in the Grade 1 class. The second place is shared with an exact neck and neck situation with Josine de Boer and Tracy Bowman. They both sit on 133.59, and then in fourth place after a storming marathon, she had a third place marathon for the British team, that is Deborah Daniel, and in fifth place Patricia Grossrichter for Germany, and Emily Ham was fifth after the marathon and sits in sixth place. So that's I know the British squad will be very pleased with how that's gone for them. We are back onto our Grade 2 class. That's Hans Arenz, and these are the live images of him in number 2. Sun shining out there. We've got a busy time. Ingmar Venman has just left number 7 in 55.91. That was the second fastest time. There was a fastest time there in number 6 of 63.59. Franz Josef currently in number 6. Advan Markwick in number 4. And Hans, as you can see there, has just knocked Jane McGarvey off the top spot. That was a phenomenal time through there, 65.78. So he's blazing a trail. Alexandra Sievers, our current leader, is now in number 1, but we are bringing you shots of number 4. There we go. Ad Van Markwick, he's just gone fastest through number 4. So we've got 2 of the Dutch out there at the moment. one for the team in Hans and one driving individually. And of course you can see those Dutch shirts and jackets wherever you go. And it's sort of shoulder and torso, top of the torso in orange, and then the navy bits at the top. So what's happened? Oh my goodness. Alexandra has absolutely, oh gosh, jet propelled herself through number one. If that's correct, that's 55.91. Now Hans just came out of there in a new fastest time of 61.89, but Equistar Lucy definitely has some go faster breakfast, because that is 55.91. Not forgetting Jenny Longley and Cocoa Pops. Lovely Cocoa Pops. They are out of number 8 in 75.68. So they finish their marathon in 119.88, an overall total of 181.64. That's enough to put her into 4th place after the marathon and overall at the moment, but I'm sure they will be absolutely thrilled. I know the Brits are all giving each other so much support and energy and momentum. There's a great energy about the camp this year. Really cohesive team. So we've got some pretty fast combinations out there. The gold boxes round the ones keep appearing next to our drivers as they're going through. Here we are with number 4 and the 62 number on the vest there indicates that we are with Hans Arens. Ingmar Veneman is about to go into the final obstacle there, number 8.
Und ist es Hans Arens, niederländischer Mannschaftsfahrer, Nummer 4 jetzt.
Alexandra about to go into number 2, Hans in number 4. There's very little between them all. Obviously Alexandra's in front after the dressage on 46.48, but pretty close between positions 2, 3 and 4. And that is a second fastest time. And Van Markwijk retains his top spot through there, but that was 64.20. Fastest time was the predecessor on 62.58. Very, very competitive out there at the moment. Franz Joseph is in number 7. He had the fastest time in number 6 of 61.57, but I will keep you up to date. Still at the moment, Jane McGarvey is in front on the marathon, 99.65, and her total is 164.13. But I think that will change imminently. Jenny Longley's finished now. Ingmar Veneman has just about finished, looks like. That was an exit in 75.11. We are on Alexandra here, exiting number 2 on 65.37. So that's another fastest time, not by much. Hans was out of that in 65.78. So that was close. That was close, but she's got a bit of a margin. We are starting now with the single horse class. Christian Provoost, this is. He was sitting in 11th. We had 18 forward. It looks like, yeah, we're sticking on 18. We've got all of them forward again for the 4-star class. So don't forget, as soon as the paras move through their obstacles, we are just rolling from one class to the next, and we're on to the horse singles. Franz Joseph Melchers has set another fastest time by some way, 47.46 through number 7. Jane's lost her top spot. She was out of there in 50.40, so she doesn't have any fastest times left apart from the last one. But I think that might change. And Mark Wick, he's in number 6 at the moment. Clock's moving for him. He's got that one fastest time at the moment in number 4. Hans Aren's got 3 second fastest times. Alexandra out there will be coming into number 4 soon. She's stepped things up again with some more fastest times. Christian Provoost out of number 1. And once we finish the grade 2 class, I will move on to another set of information and reference points for the horses, because they're driving a different set of obstacles and they have a different set of times and things. But I'm not going to confuse the issue at the moment because I really want to concentrate on the Paris. This is their World Championship after all. So add out of number 6 in 54.98. That's the fastest so far. So it looks like we have a new overall leader. Ingmar has gone into the overall lead at the moment on 157.22. Second after the marathon. Jane remains in front. So we've got a new leader going into the final phase, but that will change. We've got some pretty formidable combos out there just now. Alexandra will be in number 4, coming down. You're just catching sight behind all the big transporter. I see them coming past my window. They're vast, these big Sandman transport lorries. I mean, they do all sorts of lorry and van power around here, but I think the car transporters does seem to be one of the main sides of it all. It's a vast operation here, not just the event, but everything that goes on. Don't forget, not only is he underwriting it all and hosting it, he's also competing, Christoph Sandman. Extraordinary feat that he's achieving at the moment. So Alexandra Sievers, Equistar Lucy on the course.
Alexandra in 3, in 4.
Eating up the ground. It's a very athletic horse. And you can see all that dressage training. That means that she comes out on top of the dressage. That contributes enormously to the agility that the horse is able to show. You see how beautifully it just darts from one rein to the next. And out of there, yep, she's fastest again, 60.30. She's absolutely dominating this class. She did it last time, and Exlu led in all 3. Now, this is the first time you're going to see obstacle 3 coming into, or is this obstacle 2? We'll just catch up with you. I think that's number 3. We do use a different set of obstacles in the single horse class, but as I say, I'm going to just stick with our para drivers for the time being. Yeah, I think that's number 3. Oh goodness, my scoring screen's gone a bit berserk. I'll wait for that to right itself. Thank you. Didn't think that was the case. He didn't score 2,700 and something. Okay, where are we? With our paras, it's the grade 2 class, which is rounding off, and Ad will be coming into number 7. The clock's ticking for him. Hans has recorded a fastest time through number 6. He's having a very good marathon so far, 54.40, but Alexandra is at the moment in a class of her own. We're in our dressage and at the halfway point in her obstacles 3 of 6. Really looking very much set to retain her title. Vastly experienced. She was on the gold grade 2 position. She won gold back in 2014 in Sandringham. It was after that. Well, we did have a bit of, yeah, depending on the numbers, sometimes we had grades 1 and 2, and sometimes we didn't. Let's see, where's Alexandra on the German team? When did she first appear? Yeah, 2014 in Sandringham. That's when she made her mark. Here in the World Championships, and she will be coming. She's got 6, 7 and 8 to go. We are looking a little bit at the moment towards the horse singles class, the 4-star event we've got going on here as well, and that's Christoph Dieker driving Siebenstein. So Franz Josef Melchers has finished his marathon. He was out of number 8 in the fastest time to date. He's had the fastest time in 7 and 8. That was a 63.88 on. That gives him 96.70. He is the new leader in the marathon and the new leader overall on 145.90. But that won't necessarily last. Joe McGarvey at the moment has the 2nd place after the marathon, 3rd place overall. Hands in number 7.
Und Christian Provost, Netherlands, at obstacle 2 with 50.65 clear.
Dieker Christopher out of number 1 there. Yeah, a bit slower than his predecessor, and Christoph Dieker was picked up 2 in number 1. We've got Christian Provus now. This is the horse singles class.
Und Christian Provost im Hindernis Nummer 3 jetzt unterwegs.
For the grade 2s, Hans is in number 7, and he's gone fastest then as well, 45.87. He could well go in front. There was so little between his and Franz Joseph's dressage. Franz Joseph was on 49.20 and Hans was on 49.44, so only 0.24 between them. So if Hans Arenz carries on in this vein, he will go in front, but I think he will end up being 2nd overall behind Alexandra. She's looks very impressive so far. Have I got time just to clarify which obstacles? So the singles, the horse singles, they're doing the same first obstacle, that 1-star, the same 1-star obstacle that the Paras have just done. They are not doing number 2. So that number 2 with the dip in the middle that we saw. We move on to number 3 and to number 4. So the flags and the scorers don't necessarily tally. This is their 2nd one, although it is obstacle number 3. It's actually coming up on the scores as obstacle number 2. Oh, that's going to be got to be sharp to keep up with this. Right, Ad Van Markwick is in number 8. I do want to just keep on with what's happening in our para class. You can just have a bit of a moment to get to know this obstacle. It'll be fascinating to see how the 4s go through this one as well. It's quite slopey. This is Christoph Dieker. Alexandra Sievers is in number 6. Clock ticking for her. Now, Ad is out of number 8 in 67.04. That puts him into second place overall on 97.37 and second place in the marathon with his 97.37 and second place overall 146.25. So at the moment Franz Josef Melchers is in front, but that is set to change as Hans Arendt and Alexander Sievers finish off their marathon. Alexandra has just gone fastest in number 6, 54.05. 54.05. Now, just to confirm, if you are actually following the live scoring as well, it looks like the paras were fine. The numbers, the times were coming up under the corresponding flag and numbered obstacle on the ground, but it looks like we've just got a little bit of a difference here for the horse singles. I will confirm with you what's happening. They've got obstacles 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 star, 6, 7 and 8. Right, so we've got 2 obstacle 6s. We don't have a 2. So this is why on the live scoring the times aren't necessarily coming up under the corresponding obstacle. Right, we've got a difference, a different view for you. There we go. Thank you. Bit of variety. Who was that? Looked a bit like Christian Provost on one of his loops. Ah, okay. Okay, now this is one of the obstacles that we do very much associate with Leiden. It was the one that was certainly shown a lot during the coverage in May. If you were watching it, I certainly was from home. But I am just going to make sure I keep you up to date with what's happening in the para class. So Hans Arendt for the Dutch team and in the grade 2 class. He has finished his marathon. He's out of number 8 in the fastest time at the moment. That puts him on a total for the marathon of 88.26. Puts him into first place just now and a total of 137.70. So fairly comfortably he goes into the lead. But Alexandra Sievers is in number 7. You've just been watching Duran H and Christian Provost in, well, it's the 4th obstacle. I'm not necessarily going to commit to times. I'm going to commit to what number they are in the sequence. This, although it's got a number 3 flag next to it, it will make sense. Cristiano Cividini and Alexandra. Oh, okay, so she wasn't the fastest in number 7, but she was the second fastest. Hans was through there in 45.87 and Alexandra was through there in 46.94. So I'm just trying to wrap up this para class in the grade 2. Confirming our leader after the marathon in grade 1 is Jacques Poppen. He won the marathon and he's gone into the overall lead and he's got a big margin. He stormed round, very big margin ahead of joint second Yoshine de Boer and Tracy Bowman. They're both on 133.59 and Deborah Daniel couldn't have done any more than she did today, 140.07. I third in the marathon, and fourth. Once we've finished the grade 2 obstacles, I will go back to that team event and give you an update. You've got a glimpse of Franz Schiltz in the 4-star single horse class. He's just come flying out of number 1. He's driving San Remo Royal. Nicholas Kandel, who's quite closely associated with Franz Marie Schiltz, he'll be next through there. So one more obstacle to go in the grade 2 class, just one more to go, and then we'll be able to wrap up our para driving marathons. Just bear with us, and then I can devote a little bit more attention to what's happening in the single horse class. Remember, local time will be starting round about 2 for about an hour and a half or so before the teams, the horse 4s, come through. Now, just giving you a bit of an update now. It looks like poor Laura Peglici-Riatelli was actually eliminated. Not quite sure what happened there, but we got an elimination next to her for the grade 1 class. Not sure what happened, but that was an elimination. But Jack Poppin in front there, Josine de Boer and Tracy Bowman. That's where we are in our 1, 2, 3 for the grade 1s, grade 2s. Any moment now we will wait to see how Alexandra does in obstacle number 8. You are seeing, this is, you can probably guess from the colour of his t-shirt, that's for Italy. Cristiano Cividini, very well known competitor and trainer also of young horses. He's done well in the young horse championships over the years. He's driving Ecolando B. Franz Schiltz is about to go into number 2 and Christoph into the 5th one. As I say, the numbers don't necessarily correspond because we drop out obstacle 2 as such, and then we've got 2 6s. Right, here we are, Alexandra Sievers. She's just about to come into number 8. Franz Schiltz is in that 2nd one. Right, the clock is ticking for our reigning champion in the grade 2 class. I know I'm not necessarily commentating on what's happening on the screen, but I do want to just keep you all updated at home with what's happening with the grade 2 paras, because we're in World Championship territory with them.
Alexandra Sievers, Deutschland, im Hindernis Nummer 8 unterwegs jetzt. Letzte Aufgabe, ASP-Pyramide.
That's number 5. You can see Christoph Dieker. Well, it's actually their 4th obstacle, although it's number 5. I know, it's it's all because the different classes are doing the obstacles in different sequences, and sometimes there are 2 obstacles with the same number, so there's 1 star and 6 star. And the single horses are doing number 6, the same one as the 4 in hands. And they're also doing the 6 star. So I'm going to just give you a roundup of what's happened in the grade 2 class. Alexandra Sievers, as expected, has posted a fastest time in the final obstacle of 58.44. That gives her a clear lead in both the marathon and the overall positions. I can press that arrow and that confirms the leaderboard now in the grade 2 class. There will obviously just be a little bit of verification that goes on behind the scenes, but she had a winning total in the marathon of 85.25, and that gives her a total of 131.73. So as she's done before, she's led again in both phases. Hans Arendt, second in the marathon, second overall, and Franz Joseph Melchers again third in the marathon and third overall. So that's the 1, 2, 3. Jane McGarvey, who led for some time in the marathon, she was fifth overall in the marathon and sixth, and Jenny Longley ninth and ninth. So I'm just going to take a very short break in the voice coverage and get myself ready to take you through the para class. We'll just keep the pictures coming to you from the single horses, but just bear with us, and short break for the commentary.
The scoring after the dressage competition at the marathon, grade 2, and the World Championship, FEI World Championship for the power drivers. In the lead after marathon and dressage, we have Alexandra Sievers from Germany on the second place in the combined so far with 137.7. Hans Arendt from the Netherlands on the third, Franz Josef Melchers, Germany, the fourth place in the combined so far here at Mavic from the Netherlands, and on the fifth place we have Inkma Velleman from the Netherlands. He's on the fifth place in the combined so far. Also zwei aus Deutschland sind auf Medaillenkurs bei den Parafahrern und Fahrerinnen in Grade 2. Das ist Alexandra Sievers und Franz Josef Melchers. So schaut es hier aus in Grade 2 und im Grade 1 ist es ja auch so, dass wir die deutschen Farben vorne mit dabei haben. Auf dem 5. Rang in der Kombi Patricia Großen-Richter, die morgen da natürlich im Hindernis im Kiegelfahren nochmal alles geben wird. Und Heiner Lehrter mit Rang 8 in der Kombi nach Marathon und Dressur. And the team results at the Nations Cup for the Power Drivers at the World Championship at the FEI World Championship Power Drivers. We have it on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, with the Netherlands, the Dutch team at Arts in the lead, 259.17. Germany on the second place. Germany on the second, and with 287.96. And Great Britain now on the third with 296.2. Die Niederlande auf Goldkurs nach Dressur und Marathon. Das Team von Ad Arts. Danach kommen dann die Deutschen, haben sich hervorgearbeitet im Marathon. Heute hier in Läden sind jetzt auf Silberkurs nach Dressur und Marathon mit 287,96. Und Großbritannien, Great Britain auf Bronzekurs mit 296,2. So sieht's aus. Das sind die Top 3 in der Kombi im Nationenpreis bzw. in der Mannschaftswertung der Parafahrer und Fahrerinnen hier in Läden. FEI World Championship for the Para Drivers. Können wir uns dann auf die Einspänner konzentrieren, die natürlich auch schon unterwegs sind. Konzentrieren wir uns auf die Einspänner, die ja hier ihren Nationenpreis ausrichten auf 4 Sterne Niveau in Läden, eingebettet in die Europameisterschaft und Weltmeisterschaft zu Läden in diesem Jahr 2025 bei der PSG Läden. Und einige Gespannfahrer sind unterwegs mit tollen Ergebnissen und guten Resultaten. Auch Nicola Campbell ist unterwegs, hat eine Bestzeit gebracht im Hindernis Nummer 2, 49,76. Dann haben wir einen Autoschlüssel gefunden, meine Damen und Herren, liebe Gäste. Gucken Sie alle mal Ihre Taschen nach. Wenn Sie mit einem Mazda hier zu uns gekommen sind nach Läden, schauen Sie mal in Ihre Taschen, ob Sie Ihren Autoschlüssel noch haben. Es ist, wenn ich das richtig erkenne, ein Mazda. Und da scheint eine Fernbedienung zu sein für eine Standheizung, könnte das sein. Auch noch dran. Und vielleicht kommt die Person, die den Schlüssel gefunden hat, ja aus Norwegen oder ist zumindest Fan von Norwegen, weil auch noch ein Schlüsselanhänger Norwegens an unserem Autoschlüssel, den wir gefunden haben und der hier an der Steckerkabine abzuholen ist, dran steckt. We found a key for a car. I think it's a Mazda. And it's also possible that the driver is coming from Norway because we have the Norwegian flag on the key from the Mazda from your car. Please taste your baggage. If you lost your key from your Mazda from your car, then come to us to the speaker office and pick it up. Thank you.
Ja, meine Damen und Herren, gucken wir uns mal die Übersichten der einzelnen Hindernisse an. Im Hindernis Nummer 1 haben wir den Christian Provost immer noch mit seiner Bestzeit von 50,22 Sekunden. Im Hindernis Nummer 2 ist es Nicolas Kandel mit der Bestzeit von 49,76 Sekunden. Hindernis Nummer 3 wiederum Franz Schilz, der Luxemburger, mit 54,35 Sekunden die Bestzeit. Da sehen wir aktuell in den Niklas Kandel mit 58,16 Sekunden dort herausgekommen und aus diesem dritten Hindernis die drittschnellste Zeit in diesem Hindernis für Niklas Kandel mit der Gespannnummer 77. Hindernis Nummer 4 ist das Christian Provost, wiederum mit der Bestzeit 53,58 Sekunden. Da sehen wir jetzt aktuell eben den Franz Schilz unterwegs, der im dritten Hindernis die Bestzeit hält. Jetzt Hindernis Nummer 4, Premio Reifen Autoservice unterwegs. Im Hindernis Nummer 5 ist es der deutsche Vertreter Christoph Dieker, der die Bestzeit mit 52,66 Sekunden aktuell hält, gefolgt von Christian Provost. Und im Hindernis Nummer 6 als erster Teilnehmer eben Christian Provost noch mit der Bestzeit, aber die versucht jetzt der Christoph Dieker einzuholen. Gespann Nummer 73 jetzt reinfahrend. Im Hindernis Nummer 6. Berry Vandenbosch aus den Niederlanden mit der Gespannnummer 90 im ersten Hindernis mit 56,84 Sekunden die viertschnellste Zeit hingelegt und jetzt unterwegs im zweiten Hindernis Berry Vandenbosch. Team number 90, obstacle number 1, the fourth place and actual, so in obstacle number 2 is 47.19 seconds. Lead best time in obstacle number 2 für Berry Vandenbosch. Bestzeit im Hindernis Nummer 2 für Berry Vandenbosch mit 47,19 Sekunden. Deutlich zulegen können auf die vorherige Bestzeit. Berry Vandenbosch dann jetzt auf den Weg ins dritte Hindernis. Sehen wir Christoph Dieker aktuell im Hindernis Nummer 6 unterwegs. 66,39 die Bestzeit. Und er braucht 67,72 Sekunden, damit also die zweitschnellste Zeit im Hindernis Nummer 6. Christoph Dieker, ladies and gentlemen, team number 73, 67.72 seconds, the second place so far in this obstacle number 6 for Christoph Dieker. Benny van den Boschen, Hindernis Nummer 3, unterwegs 47,19, seine Zeit, die neue Bestzeit im Hindernis Nummer 2. Da erwarten wir dann eben Lennart Risch jetzt als nächstes mit der Geschwindigkeit Nummer 91. Im ersten Hindernis mit 63,34 Sekunden die 5 schnellste Zeit hingelegt. Und jetzt auf dem Weg ins Hindernis Nummer 2 reinkommen gleich. Christoph Dieker, den sehen wir gleich im 7. Hindernis. Der deutsche Vertreter mit der Geschwindigkeit Nummer 73. Und im 8. Hindernis Christian Provost mit der Geschwindigkeit Nummer 84. Die nächste, die dann hier in dem Einspännerwettbewerb der PSG Läden 2025 eingreifen wird, ist die Geschwindigkeit Nummer 75, ist Larissa Jansma aus den Niederlanden. 13. Platz gestern in der Dressur mit 56,17. Und jetzt gleich dann im Hindernis Nummer 1 die Geschwindigkeit Nummer 75. Erwarten wir im 6. Hindernis im ersten Umlauf die Franz Schülz, die Geschwindigkeit 85 aus Luxemburg, zu uns nach Läden gekommen. Im ersten Hindernis zweitschnellste Zeit, zweites Hindernis viertschnellste Zeit, drittes Hindernis meine ich das vierte Hindernis, dann die Bestzeit mit 54,35 Sekunden. Im 5. wiederum dann die zweitschnellste Zeit und jetzt eben im 6. Hindernis reinkommend Franz Schülz, Luxemburg. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, team number 85, Franz Schülz, Luxembourg, and the first obstacle, the second place so far, and the third obstacle, the fourth place so far, and the fourth obstacle, obstacle number 4, the best time, and in the fifth obstacle so far again the second place, and we see him now, and there is an obstacle number 6, Franz Schülz. Im 7. Hindernis Christoph Dieker unterwegs, im Hindernis Wasserhindernis, gesponsert und powered by FVG. Fahrzeugbau aus Wildeshausen.
So, lovely to be with you here in the hotspot with the live coverage from Leiden. We have our results in the para classes at the moment on your screens. We've got the 4-star single horse class going on, but focusing on our championship.
Obstacle Nummer 7 im Hindernis
To
Nummer 7.
confirm in the Grade 1 class, Jack Poppen with horses to fly, and he is the new leader overall by some way. Had a storming marathon, 83.93, and his total of 125.95 puts him in front. We do have a tie for second place between Josine de Boer, lovely marathon from her, and Tracy Bowman, who is our defending champion and was the leader with Albrecht's Hose Lars. They are sitting neck and neck, 133.59. In fourth place, a lovely, lovely set of circumstances for Deborah Daniel and her Capitola Mr. Houdini. She blazed a trail around that marathon. She was third overall on 91.11, and then combining that with her dressage score, she sits in fourth on 140.07. Patricia Grossrichter with her Gentleman, she is in fifth on 156.25, and in sixth place for the British, that is Emily Ham with Alfie on 157.07. We've just rounded off the Grade 2 class. Alexandra Sievers was utterly dominant through that. All bar one of the 6 obstacles had the fastest time, so she won the marathon on 85.25 and sits atop the leaderboard in that class on 131.73. Hans Arens, another who had a good marathon, that was a second place marathon for him, 88.26, and he sits in second place also with the combination of the 2 phases, 137.70. Franz Joseph Melchers, he had that lovely dressage test yesterday, fairly early on, Thursday rather, 96.70, and he sits in third place on 145.90. Ad van Markwijk, another one who had a good marathon, 97.37, and he sits in fourth on 146.25. Ingmar Veneman for the Netherlands as an individual, sixth place on the marathon, and then a fifth overall, 157.22. And in sixth place, Jane McGarvey driving for the British team, a good marathon for her, 99.65, and her total is 164.13. If I can share the teams with you, it means that for the Para Equestrian World Championship team effort, the Netherlands are comfortably in front on 259.17. Jack Poppen, his score counted for both the dressage and the marathon. Josine contributed for the dressage, and then Hans Arens has contributed for the marathon. So the Netherlands sitting in front on the World Championship podium with 100. That was their marathon total, 259.17. In second place, it's the Germans. Again, fairly big margins between them all, with Patricia Grossrichter and Yvonne Hellemann and Alexandra Sievers. Ladies, they're putting some great scores on the board. 287.96, so Germany sitting in second place at the moment, and the Brits will be delighted that they have ascended to bronze medal position. It's somewhere that they tend to inhabit for the para driving, but Debs Daniels, both her dressage and marathon score counted. Emily Ham contributed the dressage, and Jane McGarvey contributed the marathon score, so all quite democratic there in the British camp, and they sit in third place on 296.20. The Americans have slipped down a place or two. They were in second after the dressage. They now sit in fourth. Tracy Bowman, Diane Castaner and Deborah Marcucilli, they are in fourth place on 313.39. So that's where we are in the para event at the moment. And we just have this supplementary class that was a welcome addition to the proceedings here in Leiden, which is the CAIO for the horse singles. And just to clarify, I'm going to turn my attention to them now. They have a 5 kilometre section A with
erwarten wir dann die
Not too
Landesliga
many
beim
flags, but that's
dritten
just sort of
Hindernis. In diesem dritten Hindernis ist es Frank Schilz,
a drive
der
round.
die Bestzeit
And
erhält
then
mit
they move on
54,35
to
Sekunden.
an
Das ist eine sehr, sehr gute Zeit, die der Frank Schilz da hingelegt hat in
8:35
diesem vierten
kilometre
Hindernis, Entschuldigung. Im fünften
section
Hindernis
B.
ist es
So
immer noch
Jeroen
Christian
Houteman was
Provost,
saying
der
beforehand
die
that they've had to
Bestzeit dort
effectively
innehat.
run 3 separate
Im sechsten
marathons.
Hindernis Christoph Dieker im
So the
ersten Lauf
paras
und im zweiten dann nochmal
used
der Christian Provost
6
mit der
of,
Bestzeit.
well actually,
Im
we say
7.
8,
weiterhin
there's actually 10
Christoph
obstacles
Dieker,
available
der die
because we've got the
Bestzeit hält.
2
Und im
ones that are
Hindernis
starred.
Nummer 8
We've got 2
Christoph
obstacles
Dieker
at number 1, 2
mit
obstacles at number 6.
58,7
So that
Sekunden
means
hat
here
dann
in
nicht
the
gereicht,
single
die
horse
Bestzeit
class,
einzuholen.
we are using obstacle
Ein
1
bisschen
start.
besser
That was the
von
same one for the paras. We're
Christian
not
Provost.
using
Der
number
hat
2, so
weiterhin
2
die
that
Führung
you've had
inne,
eyes
beim
on.
Dressur
And some great
und
shots of
auch bei
that
der
for the para drivers. We're not
Kombinierten
using
Prüfung, der
that.
Christian Provost. Mit der gespannten
So if you're following the live
84.
scoring, what
Christoph
comes
Dieter, wie
up
gesagt,
under the
auch
number
einen
2
Marathon
column is
hier heute
actually
beendet
obstacle number
und belegt
3,
aktuell
which
den
is the
zweiten
big
Rang
Sandman
bei der
Transport
Dressur und
mound.
natürlich auch aktuell.
There we're
Und
number
bis hierhin
4,
bei der Kombinierten.
and then there's number 5. We use 6
Ja,
star
das sind die Einstellung der
and
Pferde, meine
number
Damen und Herren.
6.
Das ist ein
And then
Nationenpreis.
7
Da
and 8. We
fahren
did get a
die
brief shot
einzelnen
of number
Länder
7
hier jetzt gegeneinander.
during our
Und dann haben
coverage.
wir natürlich, und das ist die Hauptevent
And this
natürlich,
is
unsere
really
Weltmeisterschaft bei den
to
Parafahrern.
ensure
Da
that the
haben wir die
horses
Marathonfahrt
are able to
schon
compete
beendet. Dann die Siegerehrungen
to their
für
maximum ability.
diese
So although
Prüfungen
this
und auch die
has the number 3 flag on
Einspännerpferde
it,
sowie auch die
it is
Vierspännerpferde
actually the
heute
second
Nachmittag
obstacle that the single
finden die
horses
Siegerehrung dann heute
will be
Abend
negotiating,
in
and
der
that has the
Eventhalle
number
statt.
4 flag on it,
Mit anschließender Party mit
but it's
DJ.
actually the one that comes up as
Herzlich
the
eingeladen,
3rd
vorbeizukommen.
horse. So I would think we are now with, that's
Heute
right, it
Abend
makes
dann
sense,
wieder, wie gesagt, in der
Larissa
Eventhalle.
Jansma. She's driving Dandy Jane. She was sitting in 13th after
Da ist er jetzt bei,
the
kommt jetzt
dressage.
rein, im vierten Hindernis, gegen Schulte
Won't be
Heuer
too long
aus.
before we have our current
Nee, gegen
leaders
Reifenservice, Entschuldigung.
on the
Warte,
course.
das
Kelly
noch
Bruder,
gegen
of course, with her
Reifenservice. Da
delightful
sind die
flip.
Larissa Jansma jetzt
They are
unterwegs.
so good at the dressage. That
Nun
was
schauen wir,
a
ob sie da die
40.12. They'll be
Bestzeit
out
auch noch mal wieder
on
knacken kann.
section B. If not, in their little
54,3
rest phase
ist
at the
eben
moment,
diese
then
Bestzeit, die sie
Linnea
knacken muss.
Christensen with Lady
Die
Lexington,
wird
they were
weiterhin
second,
gehalten
and
von Frank
Claudia
Schilz
Lauterbach,
in
who's
diesem
not
Hindernis. Und die
too
verliert,
far
wie
behind
gesagt,
them,
jetzt Larissa Jansma.
will be coming soon for the Germans. We do have a
Ja,
team
ladies and
event
gentlemen,
within
the
this
German
class as well. Who have we
75,
got? I think
in
we've got
obstacle number
Luxembourg,
4,
Germany,
actually.
and
Best time in
the
second
Netherlands
obstacle
taking
and,
part
obstacle
in
number
that team
1.
event.
Also the fastest round, but one ball was falling down.
So the
Now in
horse
obstacle number 4,
fours will be
54.35
starting out
seconds
on
is the
their
best time,
section
and
A's
yeah,
before
new best
too
time,
long.
neue
We
best
actually
time, wer auf dem
begin
dritten Hindernis
with where we
wieder,
ended
Larissa Jansma.
last
Die
night,
ist
and it did run
verdammt schnell
into
und
the
gut hier
evening.
unterwegs
Weisslor,
in Läden in diesem
Sadowski.
Jahr.
We
Neue
had
Bestzeit
all
im
of them
vierten
on
Hindernis,
the same day.
52,93 Sekunden. Die neue
All
Bestzeit.
41,
Das
and the
waren
end should have been
fast zweieinhalb
42, but
Sekunden schneller
sadly
als
Karen
die
Bassett
vorherige
didn't make
Bestzeit.
it
Also gut
over.
unterwegs, schnell unterwegs.
But at the moment
Hier
in
die
this horse
Larissa
single
Jansma
class, the
mit der
situation
Gespann
is
Nummer
that the
75.
first combination to go round, so that's Christian Provost and Duran H. They've had a pretty impressive set of 8 obstacles, so they're sitting in front on 109.94. Total leadership mark at the moment is 164.11. Christoph Dieker and Siebenstein, they're in second on 119.21, and their total is 175.98, but that's going to be changing. We've got in obstacles at the moment Cristio Cividini, Fran Schultz, Nicholas Kandel has just left an obstacle, Leonard Riesch, we watched him actually drive very well at the young horses not long ago, and Eline Houteman, whose father is indeed responsible for the design and layout and mapping of these obstacles. There she is. It's her father, Jeroen, who
Zweitschnellste Zeit hatte sie im ersten Landes hingelegt mit 50,34
designs them all.
Sekunden. Nur hauchzart an der
He's so hot. Oh, there he is.
Bestzeit
There he is.
Die Bestzeit
Perched
ist von
on
Christian Provost immer noch hier in diesem ersten Hindernis.
the wheels of
Daher,
that
wie
lorry.
gesagt,
Let's see if we
Eline
can get another
Hautermann die
picture of him.
zweite
The doting
Zeit
dad
hingelegt
watching
und jetzt im Hindernis Nummer 2 unterwegs.
Jeroen Houteman, seeing
Da ist
how
die Bestzeit 46,19.
his daughter's doing
Sie
through
hat
his
sie nicht
obstacles.
ganz knacken können. 47,05
There we have them.
0,81 Sekunden ist die Zeit,
Out they come.
die Elin Hautermann dort
How was
gebraucht hat.
that? That was a
Drittschnellste Zeit im Hindernis Nummer 2.
47.80. That's the
Nein,
third fastest so
Entschuldigung, für
far.
Elin
We've had 1, 2,
Hautermann.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She's the 9th out on the course, so we're at the halfway point in this class, 18 in total. And Unzeitig is in number 1 with De Niro 29. She makes up the team for the Germans.
Und wir haben eine neue Bestzeit auf dem 6. Hindernis, meine Damen und Herren. Der erste Auflauf für Berry van den Bosch, gespannt Nummer 90, mit 49,42 Sekunden.
So you might remember, if you were listening earlier on as we started the para marathons, because we have a mixture of horses and ponies being driven in the same classes, it's really the only time that this happens in our driving world. They had different KPHs and they, or tempo, to use the technical term, and they had different minimum maximums times allowed, but it's not the case for this horse singles class because they are all over the allotted 14.2. Say in old terms. So section A is that 5 kilometre. It is the optimum speed is 13 kilometres per hour. The minimum time, remember you get penalised if you come in under this time, is 21.05. You're aiming for that 23.05, and you really do not want to be eliminated if you come in over 27.42. And you have a rest period. You have that 10-minute rest. 10-minute rest, and then you have a warm-up obstacle that you spend 2 minutes in, and that is stewarded. And then after that 10 minutes and the 2 minutes warm-up obstacle, you start on section B, and it ups the speed a little bit, so it's 14 kilometres per hour. The cool down is 10 minutes again. And your time allowed is 37.52, little bit more leverage on either side of that. 34.52 is your minimum time. If you come in quicker than that, you'll get some penalties, and if you come in over an hour and 15 you will be eliminated. But yes, you don't want to go incurring too much more. So there's also the cool down afterwards, 10 to 15 minutes that is, and that's at the end of the marathon. That's where you have a judge, a vet and a steward checking. So there's a 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes in harness examination. You also have an in harness examination with a vet and a steward before embarking on either section A or the controlled warm-up, and that's where you pick up your green card with all the timings. This is the modern marathon. You must have your safety gear on, so that's hard hats and body protectors. It's not just back protectors these days, it's body protectors as well. You have that 2 minute or so window to get in. The speeds may be changed by the technical delegate or the president of the jury in case of adverse weather or ground conditions. The marathon course must consist of 2 sections, A and B, or a controlled warm-up. Sometimes that is a controlled warm-up. The section A can be between, it says 5,000 metres and 9,000 metres. So the section A in the modern marathon is between 5 and 9 kilometres. And the minimum for a controlled warm-up part of it, if organisers choose to do that, it is a 5,000 metres square area. So depending on your terrain, the layout of your showground, what you've got available to you, what sort of competitors you've got, you have either of those options. But as we do have a big championship going on here, the organisers have on it, as you would imagine, of course, Christoph Salmon was around when they were doing 5-section marathons, so I think having a section A was absolutely what was expected, but this is a championship. We would expect that, of course.
Jetzt
that
ging wir
control
allerdings direkt noch
warm-up
mit
is
Korrektur
between
hinterher.
25 to 30 minutes, if
47,000
that's
Sekunden
how the
ist die
organisers
schnellste
run
Zeit,
it, but
aber
very
ein
much a
Ball
section
ist
A here. You have
gefallen.
either or.
Dementsprechend 2 Strafpunkte aufschreiben und damit rutscht
So
sie
1
auf
star
Rang 3 in diesem 5.
is
Hindernis.
being
Larissa
driven
Jansmann.
by the horse singles here. They've got in that one 15 knockdowns, and let me just check. We've had a
Und
few
Benny van der Dorst, die
knockdowns.
neue
We've had 2
Bestzeit
so
wiederum
far
im
and
Hindernis
1.
Nummer 6, zweiter Umlauf,
A knockdown for
60,50
Eileen
Sekunden.
in the second
Damit ist er
one.
bei beiden Umläufen hier im
Larissa
Hindernis Nummer 6
Jansma
die
has knocked
Bestzeit gefahren. Und ihn erwarten wir dann gleich
one in
für den
number
Gary
4, or
van
the
der
4th one,
Stollen
should I say.
Marathonfahrt
It's not necessarily the
für
number.
den
In number 8,
Gast aus den Niederlanden mit der
Cristiano
gestandenen Nummer 6.
Cividini and Franz Schultz have also had a knock. So Franz Schultz has finished his marathon. It's a second place marathon on 110.39. And that puts him into second place at the moment on 170.69. Franz, of course, is on various committees within FEI driving, developing the sport, and the athlete representative on the main technical committee,
Zweitschnellste Zeit im 17.
chaired by Mr.
Medina.
Medina. Is here at the event, and of course we're all terribly sad that this is one of the last championships that our lovely Manu de Banderas, who has been the director of driving for many years, he's bowing out at the end of the year. We're still trying to find a new director of driving. The FEI did announce that they're hoping to be able to join the job with the director of eventing. We've just got to see how that one rolls out. Out here on the course, Christian Provoost, who was the first out, still our leader on the marathon. He had 3 fastest times of the 8. Franz Schultz had a fastest time in number 7. Nicholas Kandel is in number 8 at the moment. Berry van den Bosch had fastest times in the 5th and 6th obstacles. And then Andriesch is just on his way out and has finished the 5th one in 58.49. And Larissa Jansma has had a fastest time in the 2nd and 3rd obstacles. We are bringing you pictures of Anne Unzeitig. She's driving for the Germans here for their sort of team competition in alignment with this class, and that's De Niro 29. They were 6th after their dressage test on 50.31. Kelly's winning dressage test, she'll be next out on the course, was 40.12. That World Singles Championship title has just evaded Kelly Bruder, but I know she's bringing on another really promising youngster, a homebred. Her beloved Flip served her so well over the years, still going strong. I know she would dearly love to take the title.
Auch seinen heutigen Marathontag hier in Leden.
So that was a new fastest time in there, 48.06. We're with Linnea Christiansen. She's in number 3, but it is the second obstacle that the single horse drivers are negotiating. And actually another comment that came from some of the horse fours drivers, I know Bram felt this way, was they were delighted that actually some of the most challenging obstacles come a little bit earlier in the course when the horses are fresh. Often you sense there's a bit of crescendo, and often the more testing ones come towards the end. But here, this will be the 3rd one for the fours.
In the combined competition, also the leader Christian Provoost so far, and the 2nd place.
We've lost Jerome Huteman from the wheel arch there. He will have moved on to watch his daughters through some of the others. Eileen, she's in the 4th obstacle at the moment for them. And That was a 9th fastest time
Ja,
through there,
gestern Abend hatten wir hier ein tolles
54.92.
Showprogramm, meine Damen und Herren.
Kelly
Haben
will
wir
be out
rasanten
any moment now,
Pferdesport
but
gesehen aus
it
ein paar
looks
anderen
like he
Blickwinkeln.
took an
Ob es
early
die
lead
ungarische Post war oder ob
on
es
the
die
marathon,
Ajax ist,
Christian
oder
Provost,
Strickreiten.
and
War alles
he's
mit dabei,
holding on
total
to it
spannender
just
Tag
now. We've
gewesen.
had
Auch heute Abend findet
5
wieder ein bisschen was
completions,
statt,
sitting in
nämlich
second
eine
at the
kleine
moment,
Party
Franz
mit
Schultz,
unserem DJ Nils, der
second of
heute
the
Abend
marathon,
uns
second
einheizen
overall.
wird. Davor, vor der Party, kommt dann noch die Siegerehrung des Marathontages heute Abend in der Eventhalle. Geht es dann
So
nach den
behind
Siegerehrungen weiter.
these
mit
camera
Party
shots,
von
that's
DJ
where
Nils.
the sort of main hub of the showground is, where we had the dressage, we've had all sorts of entertainment. They've been
Ja, die
partying
Gewinnerin
quite
der
hard
Dressur gestern, Kelly
here in
Bruder, meine
Leiden.
Damen und Herren, jetzt im
Some of us
Marathon
have been working,
unterwegs.
so we
Die
haven't
Sonne
actually managed to
72
join
aus
in all the
Kanada.
parties, but it's nice to
Zu
hear the
uns
hubbub
gekommen
and
nach Leiden. 40,1
other people enjoying themselves.
Negativpunkte lediglich bekommen gestern in der Dressur. Tolle Fahrt
All
von
the,
ihr.
all the horsepower in those big trucks.
Marathon.
We are
Immer mit
absolutely
Nummer 1
in
unterwegs.
truckland. If you are a petrol head, you
Kelly
love it
Bruder.
around here at the
Die Sonne
Sandmans.
72
There's trucks, there's vans, there's tractors, there's
72,
diggers, there's
Number
everything.
1, Kelly Bruder.
Quite an industrious part of northern Germany, this is. Kelly Bruder is on on the leaderboard, I should say, and she's just come out of number 1 in a fastest time of 49.83. So Kelly Bruder with Flip. She has been actually quite a long-term world number 1 in the horse singles, and she had that stunning test with Flip at the World Championship a year ago in Le Pan. Marathon didn't quite go her way, but always a pleasure to see this beautifully trained horse. She does a lot under saddle. She's a really skilled trainer and does quite a lot of training. Otherwise comes over to England, trains sometimes, works closely with the crew at Bennington Carriages in Lincolnshire. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to start.
Ja, mein Kollege Frank Boog hier,
past
Entsprecherjob, hatte schon erwähnt, es sind
local time.
Wettbewerbe auch
Some
bei
of
den
my clocks are
Einspannern.
still on British time, so I have to be careful not to give you those times. Yes, it's nearly 10 past
Die Vierspänner, die dann kommen am Nachmittag
1
bei den
locally.
Europameisterschaften hier PSG
I
Leiden
think
2025.
Many of you
Draußen
are
das
on
Gelände
different
füllt sich
times.
Immer mehr Fahrsportfans kommen zu uns nach Leiden zum Pferdesportgemeinschaft Leiden und wollen hier heute Nachmittag mit dabei sein und den Marathon erleben, auch bei den Europameisterschaften der Viererzugfahrer und Fahrerinnen. Wir sind jetzt im Wettbewerb unterwegs des Einspänner-Wettbewerbes CRO.
Good shots there of the a very keen looking horse. That's having a fun day in the sunshine.
Die Weltmeisterschaft der Parafahrer. Und Deutschland ist es mit dem deutschen Team, die nach der Dressur in Führung liegen mit 95,36 Punkten, etwas
In we
mehr
come.
als 11 Punkte Vorsprung auf das Team Luxemburg und die Niederlande mit Ad-Art
Gathering ourselves for.
Pferden.
That's it.
Und,
That's a
das Team
good shot there
der Einspänner
as Anne
mit der
Benzaitig
trainiert von Dieter
starts in.
Lauterbach. Dieter Lauterbach ist da
It's got a
der
big
Trainer
5
von
next to it, does,
Einspänner.
doesn't it? But actually, it's the 4th obstacle for the single horses. You might remember if you were watching the coverage from Leiden for, I say they're regular, there's nothing regular about our world at all, but for the big event they had, I think there was just shy of 190 competitors in May. It was really wet, and this obstacle in particular had got very, very muddy, but look how lovely the going is now. We've had, oh, how many? We had 20, actually 27 now with Mick out of our para class, and then we've got 18 here. Let me just do the maths quickly.
Lauterbach, dritter Platz für Claudia Lauterbach in der Dressur und Kelly Bruder, die
So
Siegerin
we're going to have 45 now. Was 46 from Mick? 45 of our single turnouts through here before we have the 41
from Canada at obstacle number 2 now.
of our horse fours to come. And obviously with the horse fours, you've got 16 shod feet with quite a lot of studs in there as well. 72 exiting. That was Kelly. coming out in a second fastest time, 46.24. Let's see if I can tell you who Kelly's got on the back with her. Piles of paper here. She's got Anouk de Hassel. That was who was nominated to be on with her. So she has been number one in the rankings. Has achieved silver and bronze in the World Championships before. Definitely on her bucket list is to get that gold. Talviki Jarvinen is out on the course number one with Cassander. So who was it? Was Linnea Christensen who was closest to Kelly after the dressage, but Kelly was pretty comfortable. It was over 6 points between them. And Kelly, a fastest time in number one and a second fastest time in the second obstacle. We're not seeing any of our horse singles coming through that number two, but we will revisit it. Let's reach for my plan of number. There we go. So we'll be back in with it for our horse fours. I'll run through that all when we get to that point.
Sportler. Elin Hautermann, Hindernis Nummer 5, 47,99 Sekunden. Das Zeitergebnis zweitbeste Zeit in dem Hindernis. Second place for Fahrrad obstacle number 5, 47.99. Elin Hautermann for the Dutch team. A clear round in this obstacle 5.
Lovely scenes. Just getting a sense of the volume of people who are here. I think there was some talk that initially there might have been a nominal charge for the ticket. So look at the grandstand there. That's packed full. All these great big car transporters or vehicle transporters, they're all doubling up as grandstands with the bench seating on there. So here's Kelly and Flip. A lovely Flip. Such an experienced combination. In the third of the obstacles for this horse single class. One of the obstacles that's being used by all the classes. Yep, Flip looking full of running, and just look at his muscle tone and the suppleness. It comes so easily to him to do those flying changes, and look at that. Trot to canter, he's so fit. They're just like us, the fitter and the more conditioning that they do, the better everything is. Mental capacity, emotional, everything. It works always. Happy horses, happy life. So a second fastest for Kelly through there, 52.42. Anne Unzeitig was the fastest. She's having a pretty fearsome marathon here, but Kelly's got that lovely cushion between her and the rest after her always impressive dressage test. Nearly dipped into the 30s. It was a 40.12. Claudia Lauterbach will be the next out through number one. They'll all be either on section A or having a quick break. The 10 minutes, the compulsory rest of 10 minutes. It's called a rest between sections A and B, and it's called a cool down after B. Effectively the same sort of thing. The modern marathon, to really facilitate putting the needs of the horses and ponies absolutely first and foremost, front and centre. but it's also to make them a bit easier for venue hosts to stage them. The old-fashioned 5-phase marathons, which most of us, and I know I do bang on about it, absolutely loved them, because we used to go around some of the very best estates in the United Kingdom for miles and miles, and the challenge of stopping your ponies or your horses trotting in the walk sections. I mean, they really were iconic, but it became almost unsustainable for event organisers to find enough volunteers to run a 5-phase marathon. Certainly in the United Kingdom, under the leadership of Andrew Council at British Carriage Driving, he's instigated the options that if an organiser wanted to add more sections to a marathon, they can certainly do that. But having this shorter format, we've still got up to eight very challenging obstacles, but you don't have sort of, if you equate it with what happened in riding the roads and tracks or the steeplechase. Do you remember that there used to be the steeplechase element in the cross country as well, and the roads and tracks, and that was all about the stamina and fitness. But we're using quite different horses nowadays, and yeah, everything's evolved. It's all part of the evolution of the sport. We're writing it all for the 21st century. Claudia Lauterbach is now in number 1. Anne Zeitig is having a very good marathon. She's got 3 out of 5 fastest times, and it looks like Barry van den Bosch has gone ahead in the marathon. I do remember that he's pretty good in that from previous events, commentating on him. 107.13 is our new leading score in the marathon, so it's a Dutch 1-2 at the moment. Christian Provost has been knocked into second place on the marathon, but Christian retains his first place overall. So the Dutch sharing the spoils between them. Barry van den Bosch driving Fabolo BH. So 164.11 is the current total for phases A and B, marathon and dressage. That's the one to beat. Sure, Kelly might not be thinking about that at the moment as we come back to Kelly Bruder. Obviously driving for Canada, but she's been based for, whoops, yeah, well done Flip. Flipping between his legs there. Been based for some time in the Netherlands, which is really the heartland where so much of the driving happens in this part of the world, and it is why Boyd Sal moved away from England. And there's just so much that goes on in driving here, and also the quality of the training. We've got some of our grandmasters based in this part of the world, and access to some fantastic horse breeding and facilities. That's Kelly, very slick through that. That's the third fastest time, but these single horses, Kelly says herself that the standard, it just keeps getting better and better. The competition gets closer, the margins get smaller, and the single horses have really excelled in probably the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Absolutely world class in the quality of the schooling, the training, the dressage, the speeds. It used to be the horse pairs that made us wince sometimes because they were so incredible through these marathon obstacles. But actually the horse singles, but if you want a lot of fun through an obstacle, I would advocate a pony pair. I'm a big pony pair fan myself. I had a lot of fun with pony pairs over the years, and if you want a really speedy, zippy, you can do some pretty tight turns because you've got that little bit of extra power with a pony pair. I think the most fun you have on a marathon is with a goey little pony pair. Purely subjective, I say. Eileen Hooterman, Dad will be pleased. She's got fastest times in the 6th and 7th obstacles, so she's having a pretty good round for the Dutch. Yeah, pretty fearsome
Und,
ladies out on the course,
an
Eileen
Unzeit
and Linnea,
sehen wir
Kelly,
in 6, Claudia Lauterbach
Claudia.
im
We've
Hindernis
got
Nummer
Marie
4,
Schultz to come. She's very competitive as well,
2.
sitting in fourth
Claudia
after a
Lauterbach
lovely
in 2,
dressage
genau.
test
Aufgepasst
on
in
Thursday
2.
afternoon.
Und Anne
Yeah.
unzeitig in Hindernis Nummer 6.
And
Sind wir gespannt. Super Zeit.
we don't even
drittbeste,
talk about the differences between
58,4,
men and
2.
women and all the
58.42 seconds.
differences of the genders or whatever you say these days. It's hard to commit to anything without getting a little bit wrong. But in driving and in so much of equestrian sport, it absolutely has been a level playing field across the ages, across everything. The genders, the sexes, everything. And we've got athletes in their 70s competing, and we've got some in their teens competing. It's just so demographic. There's so few barriers in driving. You've got to like work. There's a lot more work in getting your driving turnout ready, from cleaning the harness, and then if you go up into multiples, driving teams of greys, lots of cleaning. But that relationship that you get with your horses and ponies, the trust, the telepathy, the empathy, the emotional rewards, everything. It's the most incredible experience that driving gives us all. And look at what a lot of our para drivers achieve. Inspirational. Christian Prince is now out on the course with Rocky Lee P. How's Rocky Lee going to power around? It does sound like it's a sort of marathon type name, doesn't it? Marie Schultz is about to come into number 1, and Lars Kruger, Martin Stutzer, and that rounds off our singles class, and it won't be too long before we start on the horse falls.
Und Elin Hauter war mit Bestzeit im Hindernis Nummer 7 unterwegs, also auch für die junge Niederländerin läuft es gut, lediglich am Hindernis Nummer 2 dagegen abwehrbares Teil zu Boden, aber ansonsten Top-Zeiten bringt Elin Hautermann mit.
Might just have a little bit of a break in the action, not too much, but a little bit of a break in the action.
On the score, but she's very fast.
Maybe not. Are we going to roll in? I think we're going to roll through.
The fastest, and she's clear.
Yeah, we don't, particularly when we've shoehorned an extra class in here, there isn't a lot of time in between it all. Busy old day, but then if you think the likes of the Sandmans here are used to getting up to 190 competitors through a marathon, very impressive. Some of the numbers, I think Kronenberg and Exlu were really well supported as well this year. It's wonderful. A sport that's very much on the ascent across all the classes, and the levels just keep getting better and better. I mean, you look at what Boyd's achieved in his record of wins and achievements in the horse